Okay, looks like we're drafting. The camera actually looks like it's in a fine place. Well, there's two cards to consider, of course. We're definitely going to take one of two cards out of this pack. There's Gyruda and there's Zenith Flare. Yeah, I had two of the top 10. I don't know if they're the best two or not. They could be. Uh, I don't know why my sounds are off. I will look into that. I mean, the mic is on. Discord sounds shouldn't be on, but anyway, first and foremost, let me make a pick here. I think it's close. I don't think it's easy Gyruda or easy Zenith Flare. The thing I really do like about Gyruda, though, is that it's blue or black, not blue and black. Whereas Zenith Flare, you have to see cycling and you have to play red-white. Gyruda, we can go into any blue or any black deck. So I think that makes it a better first pick. They both make me feel dirty, to be honest. Yarget. They're both just ridiculously broken cards. But I think the one that's blue or black, as opposed to the one that's red and white, makes more sense to take pick one, pack one. So we do want to try and get Gyruda in the companion slot, which means we only draft even cards. I like playing green a lot when I draft a Gyruda because you can play Humble Naturalist on evens and accelerate it out. It's not a big concern. Black has two good 2-drop commons. Both Boot Nipper and Coilbug are excellent. So we can't really take Deadweight because it's an odd card. So our reasonable choices from this pack are Mystic Subdual or Mythos of Brokos. We're not going to be able to search out Gyruda since it's going to be in our companion slot, but we will be able to buy it back if it dies. That said, I think just staying on color because we're blue or black, taking a nice cheap removal spell here in Subdual when we already have a powerful late game with Gyruda makes sense. Let me work on the camera situation and stuff. Are the sounds back to normal, or are you still hearing sounds you shouldn't hear? Thank you, Shimmermore. Appreciate that subscription. All right. Okay, well, this pick seems pretty straightforward. At this point, we're blue. I mean, look, we're not committed to blue for a Mystic Subdual, but we have a broken rare that's blue or black. We have not both, just one or the other. Obviously, if we play blue-black, cool, but we don't need to cast it. And then we have a blue uncommon that's pretty good. We're looking to take even cards. So the best card in this pack is Essence Scatter, I think. And it's blue, the color that we have a card of already. My next choice would be Capture Sphere, also blue and even. And then my third choice would be Coilbug. So as far as what to take here, though, it seems like it's Essence Capture. It doesn't seem like it's a hard pick. It's on color for what we're already drafting. It's the best card in the pack overall, and it's even. Plus, Gyruda gives us a good late game already. So we're mostly interested in cheaper cards. Like, when you have a powerful late game every single game, because remember, that goes in a companion slot. It's not like we have to draw it. It's just going to be sitting there waiting for us every time we hit 6 mana. What we're mostly interested in is not getting run over. We're interested in, trading resources early, not getting run over, and then we'll just cast Gyruda when we hit 6 mana. So Essence Scatters go up in value. Mystic Subduals go up in value. All right, now we're going to have to make a choice because we're not going to take the blue card. We're not going to take Frostveil Ambush. The best cards in this pack are like Ram Through and Pacifism, which are both even. Both colors we're not in yet. So the real question is which of those two. I don't really see a reason to take anything else. I actually like Ram better than Charge anyway. And Charge is fine, but I agree with Voxy. It's a little overrated. It's somewhat situational. Ram is just better. But also we want evens only for Gyruda. So this is easily Ram or Pacifism. I do agree green is better than white with Gyruda. So that's a reason to take Ram. Also, the fact that Charge is in the pack too tells us green might be pretty open. Pacifism is the more splashable removal. Like, if we end up with blue-black control deck, it's easy to toss Pacifism in your deck off the splash. It's a better splash than Ram Through. So that could be one argument for Pacifism. I think it's a close pick here. I think this is really the closest of the picks we've seen. I mean, I think Zenith Flare Gerudo is a close pick. But after that, I think the Subdual and the Essence Scatter were pretty automatic. But I think the Ram Through Pacifism pick there was pretty close. You could go either way with that. Now it's not close again. Omnis Seas is a really easy pick here. I mean, firstly, we're only drafting even cards, so the other best cards in this pack, like, you know, Dead Weight and Slither Wisp and Harsh Mentor, the other good cards in this pack aren't even in consideration because they're odd. Omnis Seas is also just the best card in the pack anyway, and it's blue, the color we're committed to. I'm not on MTGO instead of Arena today. We're using a draft app to facilitate, like, an 8-person pod draft, and then we'll be playing it out on Arena. I'm actually going to be doing a short stream. I wanted to kind of take vacation this week, but I didn't want to miss the streamer draft. So this is all I'm going to be doing today. But after the draft portion, we're going to play it out. And we're going to play all 3 rounds. Even if I lose round 1 and can't win, I'll still play the other 2 rounds against the other streamers, of course. So we're going to be doing 3 rounds on Arena with this deck that we're drafting right now. Thank you, Nose Strips 88 and King Dorch. Appreciate the subscriptions. Also, I think I missed Sully Crusher and maybe Shimmermore and Magnetic North. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate everyone subscribing when I popped on here. I know it's the only time I've been on this week. We'll be back with all the regularly scheduled program next Tuesday. Like I said, I kind of wanted a little week off, staycation week. So thank you again, everybody who's tuned in today for the Streamer Showdown and also who subscribed. Okay, so there's no real good cards in this pack. Blue-red Spells is definitely a deck we could draft. We already have cards that are good in it, like Omniseas. So I think Ceratops is probably the pick. I mean, I could certainly see an argument for Mutual Destruction, except that it's odd, so we don't really want to play it. What else would we take? Like, the Startling Development is okay with Omniseas because it's a cycler. But I think if we do end up Blue-red Spells, we're going to miss the Ceratops a lot more than we're going to miss a random cycler, basically. Startling Development. And Blue-red Spells is definitely an archetype that's really good, and Omniseas is good in it, and it's good at making its land drops because it's got cantrips and stuff, and then Gerudo is not that hard to cast if you're making your land drops. So Blue-red Spells is definitely somewhere we want to look at. Okay, so here's an interesting spot. Normally I would always take Rugged Highlands, but given we're only going to play evens, we might not want to miss out on Glimmerbell, which is like an average playable. Normally Glimmerbell is like, sometimes you play it, sometimes you don't. Depends if you have mutates, depends if you need 2 drops. We don't look like we're going to need 2 drops. But, again, when you only are able to draft even cards and not odds, then getting exactly 23 or 24 playables is a little more arduous than it is when you're able to play even and odd cards. I think I'm still going to take the Highlands, because if we go green-blue, splashing red might be a big deal. If we go green-red, or blue-red, we already have a Ram Through we might want to splash. But I do think we want to take lands lower than usual and spells higher than usual, since we're only able to draft even costed cards. So now Forbidden Friendship, looks like we're trying to draft red-blue spells. We actually haven't seen much green in this seat. I kind of wish we took Zenith Flare, because now we're seeing it like a 8th pick Save Thundermane. So we pretty much know that cycling is being underdrafted in this pod now. But of course, we can't switch into a cycling deck. I mean, we have Gerudo. We're going to only draft evens. We've done a good job of it. I mean, we have all evens and all good playables. You actually want, like I mentioned earlier in this pack, to prioritize cheaper cards when you have Gerudo, because you're going to have a powerful late game every game. And we've done a good job with all of that. We have lots of good 2-drops. So, I mean, for now, we're just going to keep drafting the evens, keep drafting blue-red spells, and draft a Gerudo deck. Ferocious Tigorilla, this is a card that often doesn't make the cut in blue-red spells. It's a fine playable, but there's plenty of playables, and it's not really on synergy or anything. But again, this is a draft where we're only going to play evens, so there's going to be some packs where we just don't get a playable, because there's 2 playables in our colors, but they're both odd. So something like Tigorilla is very likely to be our 22nd card in this deck instead of our 25th card. And by 25th card, I mean just barely not making it, as opposed to our 22nd, which will make it. So I'm going to prioritize that a little higher. So we can play this off the, because we can mutate it for red, red 1. The question is, do we want to? Forbidden Friendship does go wide, so it's decent with that. Otherwise, there's Anticipate. I mean, our only broken card we're going to have every game in the companion slot, we're not going to Anticipate into. I don't really like Anticipate, so I think I'm going to take the Legosaur. I don't know if we'll play it or not, but I don't think we'll miss Anticipate. Thank you, Rookie MVP. Appreciate that subscription. Alright, so we're not going to play Frenzied Raptor because it's odd, so it's unplayable. Blue-White, still an option. Unlikely, but still an option. So I'm going to grab the Manserval just in case. Yeah, but you only really want to steal creatures if you have sack synergies and stuff like that. I'm not really very interested in the steal a creature until end of turn. I barely know anything about this site. Ask Lola Man or somebody else who's really sets up these drafts. I know nothing. Okay, Cathartic Reunion, easy pick for blue-red spells. Let me move this Serval out of there. I don't know. It's a backup in case we open a white broken rare or something, but it's highly unlikely to make our deck. Ram Through is a lot more likely to be splashed if we end up with good creatures and want the removal. We have Rugged Highlands already. I'm not saying I'm going to splash for just a Ram Through. I don't plan to, but it's not unlikely. Hey, what's up, Sean? I've been drafting a lot. I've been winning and losing plenty of matches every day. So odds go in the sideboard, and non-blue-red cards go in the sideboard. Other than that, looks good. Let's see what's here. So Blood Curdle off the splash is even. We're not gonna. We're going blue-red. I mean, Reunion and Friendship came pretty late. Ceratops is a good card in the blue-red deck. Like, we're going blue-red. But we could splash Blood Curdle. It's the best common in the set. It's single black. It's even. Otherwise, what is there for blue-red? There's Ceratops, which is good but not amazing. So I think this is a pick between pretty much just Curdle off the splash or Ceratops for the main. We do want to keep our creature count somewhat up with Gyruda, and we do have a ton of spells already and not that many creatures, so I think Ceratops is looking pretty good in our deck. It's a bad first pick. Like, I'm very disappointed to be first picking Ceratops, but it's not a bad pickup for our deck. And we already have a Ram Through and a red-green duel, we don't have a black duel. I'm not saying we're going to splash Ram Through, but it is pretty good with 2 Ceratops to splash, and Gyruda gives us a 6/6 to Ram Through with every game. So I don't think we take Blood Curdle here. I just don't think it's offering us that much. Oh yeah, Gyruda's going to be very good regardless of whether we're blue-red spells. Firstly, just because you have Ceratopses and stuff, you still have a reasonable creature count. If you mill 4 cards, you're pretty likely to hit a creature if you have 12, 14 creatures. And then you also have your opponent's creatures to hit. So, I mean, Gyruda is just excellent regardless. And remember, think about, like, Gigantha. Like, it's not about Gyruda's ability all the time. Gyruda is an extra card if it's in your companion slot. You're up a card. Your opponent took a mulligan. You have an additional 6/6 waiting for you when you hit 6 mana that you just get to magically put in your hand. You don't have to spend a draw step on. Yeah, this pack is yikes indeed. We don't really want any of these cards. It's not really even odds. Not that, I'm going to play one, but there isn't really even odd cards for us. There's just no... This pack is just... I mean, Bastion's a good card for the Humans deck. Weaponize is a good card for the red-black sack deck. Memory Leak's a 1-mana Cycler for the cycling deck. But there's basically nothing for us here in blue-red. I think I'm just going to pick up Windscarred Crag. I mean, you never know what will splash or won't. We do have this Leosaur we might want to cast. And, the Mutate is red, red 1. So even if we don't pick up any other white cards or any fixing or anything, we could play just Windscarred Crag in our deck if we choose to play Leosaur because we have a few friendships or something. So I think I'm just going to take this opportunity and pick up the red-white land. It's a horrible pick. I'm not happy at all about it. But not much I could really do there. Okay, unfortunately, Archipelagore is awesome, but it's odd, so we're not going to play it. It's a near-broken card, but nothing we could do. So now we have to choose between Reconnaissance Mission and Pyroceratops. Forbidden Friendship's really good with Mission. Ceratops itself is pretty good with Mission. We don't have a lot of early drops, but we could try and prioritize them. Third Ceratops is not too much. It's just total 4-drop count that matters. Ceratops doesn't really get better or worse in multiples. Like, I would play, if I'm going to play, like, let's say I'm looking to have 4 drops. I don't really care if I have 2 Ceratops or 4 Ceratops. It's just a fine 4-drop. It doesn't really get better or worse in multiples. But, I mean, we have 3 4-drops mid-pack 2. 4 or 5 is a good number to end up with. So I'm not, like, anti-taking any more Ceratops, not by any stretch. I'm not sure if Mission or Ceratops is going to work out better for us. I guess I'll go with Mission. It is still early in Pack 2. It's good with Forbidden Friendship, which we'll be trying to draft a lot of. It's also good with Glimmerbell, which we'll be drafting. Since we're not going to play any 3-drops, we do need to prioritize 2-drops pretty heavily. Second Archipelago is disappointing. We can't do anything with it because it's odd, but I'm disappointed to see that. This draft's not breaking our way well. Additionally, this pack just doesn't have anything for us. That's going to happen sometimes when you're drafting all evens. But, pretty disappointed there's virtually nothing. I guess, tentative connection, all we can really do. I mean, is green, blue, splash, red still an option? It is, but not really. And we didn't see green late pack 1. So even if we get some decent green here in pack 2, we're probably not going to see much of it in pack 3. Splashing white is definitely an option. We already have a white land now, as well as the Leosaur. But Swallow Hole is odd, so I guess we can't do anything with it. So I guess it's just connection. Well, it's too late to worry about that. It's mid-pack 2. I'm not going to draft Pelagor just to try and potentially cut off blue a little bit better. What got us committed to red was that we got the Forbidden Friendship, the Reunion late, but also blue-red spells is just a good archetype. I mean, I wouldn't say we're locked in on red, but we never had any reason to go anywhere else. Like, we saw no green pack 1. Like, we got, after the Ramthur, we got no more green cards. And we didn't see any good late black cards. Like, we never really got sent in any other direction besides blue-red spells. I'm just going to grab Swiftwater Cliffs here. Again, this pack is going horrible for us, but we do have stuff we might be interested in splashing from white or green. So, Swiftwater Cliffs just makes sense. It helps us splash, too. Some people don't know this, most probably do, but a blue-red duel helps you splash green or white, too. A land doesn't have to have green or white in it to help you splash, because it's still 2 mana sources out of 1 land, so it makes it easier to play an extra forest or plains in your deck. Like, if you imagine our goal was to, let's say, produce 8 islands, 8 mountains, and 3 forests. Let's just say we're going to play blue-red splash green, hypothetically. And your goal is to produce 8-8-3. Well, this produces a blue and a red, so it makes it easier to play 3 forests and still produce 8 islands and 8 mountains. So Swiftwater Cliffs helps you splash, even if it doesn't produce your splash color. And that's, of course, true of all dual lands. Yeah, this pack, again, doesn't really have much for us. Keep Safe is playable, and we're not in a position to be passing playables. Hopefully Pack 3 will go better than Pack 2, because Pack 2 is currently going horrible for us. Pack 1 went pretty well, though. Remember, we got stuff pretty late in Pack 1, right? We got this Ominous Seas, like 3rd or 4th. We got this Forbidden Friendship, like 6th or 7th. We tabled the Cathartic Reunion. So hopefully Pack 3 will go like Pack 1, because Pack 2 is going atrociously for us. Alright, nothing exciting, but the Smasher is a solid creature we can play. I like the fact that it's a 6-drop with cycling, so we can hit it with Gerudo. If we draw it in our opening hand or whatever, we can cycle it and give first strike to something. I mean, it's not a great card, but we're not playing the cycling deck, unfortunately. So, I mean, it's Startling Development or Smasher. Smasher's even, it's big. Nice hit off Gerudo, and if we draw it in our opening hand, we can either cast it or cycle it. I should have used my Psychic powers. I use them sometimes, but I try not to use them in these streamer drafts. You know, this isn't like really a competition. It's more just about like having fun, and it's kind of a show. So it wouldn't really be fair to the other streamers if I used my psychic powers and took the Zenith Flare, knowing I was going to see a bunch of good cycling stuff, and cycling would be underdrafted. So you know me. I'm kind of about fairness and all that. So, oh yeah, my cycling deck would be way better than my Gyruda deck here. Yeah, nothing for us again. I'm just going to... White is the color we're most likely to splash. So I'm going to take the white 4-drop here. Not planning to splash it, but you never know. But a light white splash, if we end up with a Pacifism or something else we want to splash, does make sense. We've got a blue-red duel. We've got a red-white duel. We've got this Leosaur, which is red-1 mutate, so like you don't need a plains, but if you draw your plains, then you can cast it on turn 2. Okay, so just gonna take another Leosaur. It's not like this is some kind of awesome card or anything, but it can be cast without drawing a white source. Red-1 to mutate. Also, white's already the color we're looking to splash. Also, we're taking it over nothing because this card is odd. We're an evens deck. I mean, if we get Glimmer Bells, and if we get especially Forbidden Friendships, Leosaur can work out pretty well in these kind of decks. It's just we're hoping to see a bunch of Forbidden Friendships. I doubt other people are drafting Forbidden Friendships that highly. It's really just a question of whether they'll be in the packs or not. Assume that Tentative Connections filler, hopefully in this deck. Hopefully we won't play it, but you never know. So move that out to the sideboard. These are all odds. So I'm just going to grab the only even. I mean, blue-white splash red is still an option. I mean, we don't care about these day squad marshals. But if we open like a white broken rare, or if we just get hit in the head with a bunch of pacifisms or something, it's not inconceivable we'll switch to blue-white splash red. Not saying we're planning to do that. It depends on what's in the packs. But if the packs wanted us to do that, we certainly could. Still can't play odds, though, whether we play white or red. Pack 2 has been absolutely horrible for us. Pack 1 went fine. Remember, your deck doesn't have to look good if you have Gyruda in the companion slot, because you get a free additional 6/6 plus every game. But yeah, Pack 1 went fine for us, and Pack 2 has went horrible. This pack has been absolutely abysmal. But hopefully Pack 3 will go like Pack 1. Pack 1 went totally reasonable for us. If I can pick up a Pyroceratops, and an Omnises, and a removal spell, and a scatter, and cards of that quality, a friendship, I'll be pretty happy. Because, again, we do have Gyruda. Our opponents are on a mulligan every game because we have an 8th card. So hopefully Pack 3 can just go more like Pack 1 than Pack 2. Alright, so we could take Subdual as good removal. Well, that's about it. I mean, this isn't like a good first pick. It's not a horrible first pick. Subdual is a fine card. If we look at white, I mean, we can't take Tahira if it's odd anyway. Wolverine's an odd card. Looks like this is just an easy Subdual. Not a good first pick. Not the stuff dreams are made of, but no big deal yet. Subdual is pretty good in this deck. We're looking for Glimmer Bells, Forbidden Friendships, Flame Prophecies and Essence Scatters are both evens and quite good. Capture Sphere, Rock Slide. Basically, the 2 red common removal, Prophecy and Rock Slide, the 2 blue common removal, Scatter and Capture Sphere, those are all even. So we're looking for any of the numbers of those we can get. We're looking for Forbidden Friendship. Ceratops is fine, of course. We'll take more. We didn't want to get overloaded on 4 drops, but now we still only have 3, which is fine. As far as evens with cycling, yeah, because we have Omnises, and Cathartic Reunion is really good with Omnises. I would definitely like more Cathartic Reunions, because we can get through our weakest cards for only 2 mana that way, and theoretically put 3 counters on our Omnises. So we could grab Vantasaur. If we do a light white splash, Vantasaur will actually be pretty good for us. You can always cycle it for 1 colorless. We could grab Rescuer. Again, we're not really doing the cycling deck, but we wouldn't mind playing a few cyclers with Omniseas. Do we have any other cyclers? Hampering Snare, Omniseas itself. So, and the Smasher. I think, go for Blood, of course, too. But I think I like the Rescuer here. Even though we passed that Zenith Flare, we can still do a little bit of cycling sub-theme. It doesn't seem like cycling's really being drafted heavily at this table. Reconnaissance Mission has cycling. Smasher has cycling. Rescuer just looks like a fine card for our deck. Because remember, it cycles for 2 colorless. And we do have a red-white duel and a red-blue duel. So with a bunch of card drawing and cycling, we should be able to make the mana work as like a 2.5 color deck. Especially if a lot of our cards have cycling. So I actually think the Rescuer is a nice pickup for us. I think we might just look at a Jeskai like kind of a light cycling theme deck. Cycling goes really well with Omniseas. Reconnaissance Mission goes pretty well with Rescuer. If we end up short playables, we have some white playables that aren't great, but are totally fine. Manserval, Day Squad Marshal. So, okay, easy pick here. We can grab another Omniseas. That strengthens our desire to take cycling cards. It's a good card in blue-red-white cycling. It's good with a lot of the cards we have. Like I said, it's good with Reconnaissance Mission. It's good with every cycling card. It's great with Cathartic Reunion. That's a pretty nice pickup for us, I would say. And this pick is just a no-brainer. The next cards we would choose are like Startling Development. I don't know, nothing even remotely close, but Omniseas is a good pickup. We don't need the whole pack to be good for us. We just need one good card in the pack. And I'm very happy about that pick. This pack's going fine so far. I mean, Subdual is kind of a weak first pick, but it's a fine card, especially when we already have a good late game. I've talked about this concept from time to time, but the better your late game, the more you want cheap removal. The smaller your creatures, the like more aggressive your deck, the more you want powerful removal. Because if you have cheap creatures, then small creatures, then you can put a 4 or 5 mana removal spell in your deck to clear the opponent's big blockers, and you have stuff to do in the early game. If you have a powerful late game like Gyruda, you don't want to fall behind, you don't want to get run over, so cheap removal like Subdual is better. Well, Riel would be totally busted for us, but it's odd. Hey, thanks for that 100-bit donation, Javier Milero. Appreciate the generous support for my stream. But it's odd, so I don't think we can use it. I don't think we need to. There's 2 good cards for us in Scatter and Healer here. Also, thank you to Jessiel. Appreciate the full 16 months of support. Thank you for being a great subscriber for the entire time my stream has been running. So this is really a pick between Healer and Scatter, I think. Even though we're up to 2 Seas and Rescuer, Scatter is just a good card. And it triggers the Ceratops. I think we just take Scatter here. I'm not against Facet Reader with the double Omniseas. Like, I would certainly play it. But again, if we table it cool, I think Scatter is just the best card here by a lot. I don't like Facet Reader, but whereas it's unplayable in, like, let's say a blue-green deck, I would definitely play Facet Reader in this deck. It's pretty good with double Omniseas. It triggers Omniseas every time. But it's not on the level of Essence Scatter. We'll just see if we get it back. Okay, easy Fire Prophecy here. That also draws a card while killing a creature. So it triggers the Seas. It's good efficient removal. It's a card I'm happy to pick up. I would like to get Forbidden Friendship, Tranquil Enclave, Vantasaur, Development. So hopefully we can table one of these 4 cards out of this pack, since all 4 of these would be quite good for us. But for right now, it's just an easy Fire Prophecy. That's not a close pick. This pack's going well for us again. So, I mean, I think we found the right colors in the right deck. Like, pack 1 and 3 went well for us. Pack 2 just went poorly for us. So, more than likely, somebody we're passing to is drafting blue-red spells as well. Can't do much about that. Because, I mean, like I said, I feel like pack 1 and 3 have went pretty well for us, and pack 2 went really poorly. Okay, so let's see. Our curve's pretty low. We could take this Terran here just for another nice 6-drop with Gyruda. Can't play the odds. Well, there's not really anything else to take, so I guess this particular pick isn't going to go well for us, but I don't mind. Like, our curve's pretty low. I don't mind one more nice 6-drop to play in this deck. Something to hit off Gyruda. Thank you, Slave to Phage. Appreciate that subscription. And yes, lynxes are real, apparently. Hey, Slow RX, Greg, thank you. Appreciate the generous gifting out of 5 subs. Thanks for being such a great friend and supporter and somebody who helped this stream get off the ground right away. How you doing? Okay, let's see. Looks like we will take Facet Reader. I mean, Shredded Sails is an okay cycler. But like I said, whereas I don't like Facet Reader, it's good with double Omniseas. With double Omniseas, that's enough reason to play Facet Reader. Also, we want to dig to our land drops to play Gyruda. Like I said, we have the power level covered. This is a deck that's going to play grindy games. We have 2 Essence Scatters, 2 Mystic Subduals. This is the kind of deck where Facet Reader is going to be about its best. We have cheap removal. We're not going to get run over. We don't have a lot of power. We're looking to play grindy long games. We're not an aggro deck at all. We have a good late game with Gyruda every single time we hit 6 mana. So I'm definitely down to play Facet Reader in this deck. Thank you, Razmax CDN. Appreciate that subscription. Okay, I think now we're going to take one of the 6 mana cycling creatures. I think they're pretty close. I don't know which one I actually like better. I like that we can get a big creature in our deck for a Gyruda hit, that also we can just cycle to trigger Omniseas. First Strike can definitely be better than Haste. Also, the fact that if you cycle this, you give First Strike to something is pretty nice, but we don't really have creatures to give First Strike to, right? We've got these 2 Leosaurs maybe we can pull something with. I think since we already have a Smasher, I'll go with the Serpent. I think it's a really close pick. I think there are definitely decks that would want Smasher over Serpent. I just don't know if we do, because we don't really have creatures to give First Strike to. Okay, so we're pretty clearly not splashing green, and we're not exactly loaded up with nice playable creatures. We have enough. I don't think our deck is bad or anything. This is 23 playables here. And we'll definitely play 17 lands, unlike the little cycling white decks. When we hit 6 lands, we have Gyruda, so we're not trying to play that low a land count. So we're totally fine. But I think Tigorilla is a 4-drop that just might make our deck as a serviceable 4. So now we can get that Vantasaur. I'm pretty happy about that. It's a 1-mana cycler with the 2 Omniseas. It's a 6-drop we can hit off Gyruda. It's just a playable card that we can cycle. Because since we're only playing 2 4s and 6s, we want to play more 6s than normal. But obviously if you draw 2 6-drops, 3 6-drops in your opening hand, that sucks. So having these 1 and 2 mana cycling 6s is great, because if we're on turn 6 on, we can hit them off Gyruda or we can just cast them. If we draw them in our opening hand, we can just cycle them away on the cheap. Startling Development's another nice 1 mana cycler to pick up for this deck. I think this deck came together okay. Like, it's not exceptional, but I think it doesn't look as good as it is. You gotta remember, Gyruda's in the companion slot every game. So if your deck looks bad, but you have Gyruda in the companion slot and you have enough playables, it just doesn't look great. Your deck might actually secretly be great, because we have Gyruda every game. Thank you, Perufek. Thank you, Will Be Hidden. Appreciate the generosity. Thank you for subscribing, Perufek, and thank you, Will Be Hidden, for gifting out 3 subs. Okay, and we tabled another Venusaur. I like that. I'm going to get this Terron out now. We have enough 6-drops now that are cycling that we can cast or hit off Gyruda. We can cut our worst one. 27, Gyruda in the slot makes 26. So we're probably going to cut a couple of cards. Not too many. This will probably be a 17-land deck, because we do want to hit 6. So even though we have these cyclers, we can loot away excess lands with the Readers. We can cycle to dig up lands. This is a deck that looks like it wants to be about 17 lands. We don't need to go too low or too high, I don't think. The Leosaurs are cuttable for sure. I don't think they're horrible. I mean, they're a 2-mana 2/2 you can cast on turn 2. But we don't really have a lot to mutate onto them, and they can't mutate onto too much. We didn't pick up more friendships. They're quite good with friendships, but it's true that they definitely didn't really get there for us. Alright, so let's see if we can export to MTGA. I guess I have to hit Control D here to dismiss that. Okay, decks. This doesn't look like where I want to be, like a new deck. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do here. Where do I go to decks? Here we go. It's probably this. Yeah, no, this isn't it. This is a standard deck, obviously. Import. Yep, there's Daruda, you got it. Thank you, tech support, I mean chat. So Daruda in the companion slot. So, let's see. 5, 9, 11, 13. That's not enough lands, of course. We're going to play around 17. Probably about the right number of white sources. I agree we're probably going to cut these Leosaurs. So let's say we cut those. They would have been alright if we got Forbidden Friendships, but they didn't really work out. What's up, Queen Dragon? So let's see. If we cut those and we add 3 lands, is that right? 5, 7, 11, 13. That puts us to 16. So I think we do want to play 17 lands here because we have Daruda. So we'll cut like one more card, maybe like a Tigerilla. Do we have any really bad spells? Not really. Our spells are pretty good. And Keep Safe is good. We're making 8/8s. Could cut a Facet Reader, but I kind of like Facet Reader with the double Omnises. Keep Safe's definitely cuttable, but I think we probably want it. I think I'll just cut a Tigerilla. We don't have any like real keyword synergy or anything. It's pretty medium. And then I think we have the right number of planes for our Light Splash, just the Rescuer and Venusaurs, which all cycle anyway. So if we're adding in 4 more lands, it's probably 2 islands, 2 mountains, but let's check. We want a pretty even distribution. Definitely 1 more blue if we're going to play 1 more of something. But ultimately, we have a lot of cycling. Fire Prophecy can help find blue. Reunion can help find blue. So basically 1 more blue than red if it comes to that, but a pretty even amount of red and blue. Well, we're playing the Rescuer and the Venusaurs kind of off a free splash. Remember, they all cycle for colorless. And we have 2 Omnises, and then we can hit them off of Daruda. So they're basically a free splash. It's not like we're messing up our mana. We've got a red-white duel and a red-blue duel. We'll play like 1 or 2 planes. So anyways, 5, 6 plus 2 blue gives us 8. 4, 5, 6 plus 2 red gives us 8. So yeah, 2 red and 2 blue look good. That gives us 8/8 in a cycling deck. That's good mana. Nothing wrong with that. You run the companion if you can. Companions are pretty broken. Thank you, Anafenzo the Foremost. Appreciate that subscription. Ooh, we got a little level 1 hype train. I don't really know what that means, but thank you to everybody who's been subscribing and supporting the stream. I know y'all chatting and subscribing are probably why we got that. I don't actually know what it means, but I do appreciate you. Thank you, Keppel. Appreciate the subscription for 3 months. All right, so let me go get Mobius's information if we're up against the Mobius. And let's get to battle. I'm pretty sure we did this draft right. Our deck would have definitely been better had we took the Zenith Flare. But, I mean, I'm not Psychic. Where's the deck? Oh, I have to maybe change it to 40 card or something. I don't know. Yeah, challenge match so that we can pull up the 40 card deck. There we go. Best of 3, coin flip. Now we can bring in our sweet draft deck here and our enemy. I have to give it a name? Alright, I'll go back and name it. This one's not hard to name. I don't know if that's how it's spelled, but we know I can't spell or pronounce anything correctly, so who cares? Oh, I have it as best of one. That would explain why it's not connecting. So deck type 40 card, format best of 3 coin flip. You got to remember, your deck shouldn't look good if you have a companion. Companion is worth a lot. Companion is a broken mechanic. So if your deck looks fine, like if you have enough playables, like you saw, we cut our last couple cards were playable. Our deck is fine. If you remove Jaruda from the companion slot, our deck would be bad. But our deck, it's playable, the mana's fine. That means our deck is very good. Because our opponent's playing limited, not standard, and we go up a card every single game. And not just any card. We go up most likely 2 creatures. A 6-mana 6/6 plus, let's say on average, we'll hit something. Like, companions are busted. So if your deck looks average to like a little bad, but totally functional, and then you have a companion in your companion slot, your deck is actually great. If your deck looks like a train wreck, and then you have companion in your companion slot, your deck is probably average. Yes, I promise it's coming. I will think of things for the channel points. It's not something I've delved into yet, but it's something that we will be working on it. I think it's a cool feature. I didn't even know what it meant until somebody asked me recently. So we'll set up some cool rewards. Maybe we can set up like the ability to cash in a certain amount to participate in like an 8-person draft with like from people from my stream and me or something like that every month, and as well as maybe some other rewards or something. We'll figure I will figure stuff out. I promise. But somebody literally asked me that like last week, and I was like, yeah, I think I saw something about that. What's a channel point? And they explained it to me. Limited tournament match? Let me check out the Discord and see if they specified. Mobius is still building, and they pinned the settings, so I can go make sure I have the settings right. They're on top of things. I'm not, but they are. No, yeah, I think my settings are right. Mobius is just still building. Mobius said 2 minutes, like a second ago in the Discord. I guess they said they also sent me a friend request, which I do not see, but okay. Shouldn't need it. I don't think I have a setting on, like, only friends can play me or anything. So, best of 3, 40 cards. Try again. Incoming requests. Oh, sure. I mean, maybe you can only challenge friends. I don't know. I don't think so. I do have a CFB Pro article on how to draft blue-red spells. Since LSV shotgun red-white cycling because he's greedy and it's the best archetype, the first one I wrote about was blue-red spells. I also think red-white cycling is the best, but I think blue-red spells is the second best archetype. So I covered that with my first CFB Pro article. So if you go search for it, it should be the very first one from about a month ago. Okay, we've got some Mobius finally. Let's do some battle. I mean, we don't have a turn 2 Omnisci, so I'm not going to call his hand great. But it's fine. We have 4 lands. We've got our removal to slow them down, a 4-drop, and then, of course, Jaruda, which our whole deck revolves around. You're welcome, Ono Sausage. Blue-red spell is a great archetype. Like I said, I think it's the second best archetype in this format after red-white cycling. I wouldn't really describe this deck as blue-red spells necessarily. This is more like blue-red, all my cards are even for Garuda. But because we have like 2 Omnises, a little bit of a cycling sub-theme, we're not really focused on the spells theme. I mean, we've got the Ceratops and plenty of spells in our deck, but the spells aspect is not something we really do, like, we really do a lot of. This deck's focus is just not dying and then Garuda advantage, basically. I need to set a setting so you don't hear my Discord noises. That's not on purpose. It's weird because I haven't changed anything from the last times, and people weren't saying they heard them last time. So I'm not really sure what the deal is, but I'm definitely down to shut it off or something if possible. Okay, for now, let's just cast our 4-drop. Okay, I shut off message sounds, so hopefully that will do the trick. Thank you, Kazakhstan. Appreciate the subscription. How much do I feel like Deathsea right now? A lot. Deathsea is the ultimate landlord, whereas I've always considered myself a man of the people, not about owning everything, but I've got all the land right now. I'm basically the Lord of Winterfell as we speak. I mean, obviously we have to draw more spells. If we draw all lands, we're probably going to lose. But again, we have another Ceratops to put out. We still have tons of life. And then the turn 6, we have Garuda. So if we hit one of our nice 6-drops off Garuda, or one of the opponent's nice creatures off Garuda. So they're repping a pump spell. But I think I'm happy to trade Ceratops for the pump spell in their turn, right? I don't even have any more spells to grow it at the moment. So if they want to give this Brushwag +3/+3 or something, I'm cool with that. Can't, like, pump it and eat my creature for free or anything. Yeah, I can move the cam a little bit so it doesn't block anything. So, like, that's pretty much what we thought they'd have, and I'm totally happy with that turn. No decisions here. Just get it out of their hands so they don't have it to work through Garuda with. Move about our business. We didn't have any spells to grow the Ceratops right now or anything like that. Hopefully they don't have like an Essence Scatter or something. Obviously, we're pretty reliant on Garuda this game. I mean, the main things our deck does is Garuda, of course. Like I've said over and over again. It's in the companion slot. It's incredibly powerful. We have it every game. But our other plan for our deck is mostly turn 2 Omnises. We have 2 Omnises along with Reconnaissance Mission, Cathartic Reunion, and a bunch of Cyclers. So, you know, if we play a turn 2 Omnises, which we have 2 of, we're pretty good at making 8/8s. We have Keep Safe to protect them, and we can just trigger it multiple times and dig through our deck. So, like, turn 1... So, Garuda is plan A, Omnises is plan B. So, there is an argument for running more lands because of Garuda. There is. Normally, I would play 16 in this deck because I have a bunch of Cyclers, and my curve isn't that high. I mean, I have a decent number of 6-drops, but they all have Cycling. I played 17 because of Garuda. You don't want to play 5 extra lands because you have Garuda. You're just going to get flooded all the time. But I like to up my land count by about 1 land. If I would normally play 17 and I have Garuda in the companion slot, I'm going to play 18. If I would normally play 16, I'm going to play 17. It's not a hard rule, it's more of a soft rule. But in general, I'm going to up my land count by 1 for Garuda. And that worked out well. We milled 4 lands that we certainly didn't want to draw. There's practically no lands left in our deck. We're playing 17. That's 6, 7, 11. So there's 6 lands left in 23 cards. And then we milled, well, 3 lands, which helps the opponent, but a nice 6/6 of theirs to get. Clutch Elephant indeed. Yeah, I mean, they have this Mentor growing both Brushwags here. So, and the Will Bonder. Like, this Mentor is sick right now. Like, they have 3 Tramplers. But, of course, we can attack with both 6/6s next turn, so we'll see what we draw. Hopefully, we'll draw, like, Fire Prophecy to kill the Mentor. That would be huge, and then get another card. I'm not sure if I'm going to cycle the Rescuer or cast it. Like, if I drew Prophecy, I would plan to just Prophecy, get rid of this mountain, and play Tigerilla, and then we'll see what we draw the following turn. If I draw, like, a land, I might just cast both of these. But, I don't know. A 3/1 isn't going to do anything against this 5/4. So, maybe I'll cycle it to try and dig up Prophecy. Someone said 4. I count 3. Oh, the Symbiote has Trample too, because they put the counter there. Okay. Alright, so Reconnaissance Mission looks like a card we want to cast. That will trigger the Ceratops. We can't attack with the Ceratops because this is effectively a 5/4, but we can send both 6/6s. And if they have to trade any of the Tramplers off now, then they don't grow more later. So and if they don't trade with them both, we'll get to draw cards. So I think we start by casting Reconnaissance Mission here. They have Mentor online, and Will Bonder has Trample and can grow to a 5/4. So we can't send a 3/4 into a 5/4. But the 2 6/6s look fine. If they make double blocks, we might trade them down a little bit. But remember, these would have just kept growing. We can't remove the Mentor. So I don't mind trading a Honey Mammoth or a Gyruda for the Will Bonder, because the Will Bonder would keep growing otherwise. And then if they want to also block the other one, they're like losing 2 to 3 creatures. And if they don't, then I get a card from the mission right back right now. And then unless we draw something we can cast, I'll most likely just play this Valiant Rescuer. So if they make this block, which is totally reasonable because of Rescue Mission, Reconnaissance Mission, I mean, we're going to kill all the Tramplers. I mean, not the 1/3, but all the bigger ones, so that they'll stop growing. That's why I said this was fine for us either way, because if they can make like one profitable double block, but if they want to stop both creatures, they can, but we'll kill all these Tramplers that are growing. If not, then their Tramplers will grow, and that's a problem, but at least we're drawing cards off Reconnaissance Mission. So we're forcing them to choose between lose these growing Tramplers or let us get cards off Reconnaissance Mission. Thank you, Pitaku. Appreciate that subscription. I mean, we don't have a lot of removal. If we can find the Fire Prophecy and kill the Mentor, that will be really good. So I really hope we do. Hey, look at that. Don't mind if I do. I've got a reunion, but I also might spend 8 mana next turn, 2, 4, and 2. So I'm going to play land 7. Yeah, I don't really like the opponent taking both last turn. I get it, because their Tramplers are growing. But they had one pretty reasonable double block. The Will Bonder's not getting bigger than the Honey Mammoth anytime soon. So if I were the opponent, I would have put... and Blue-Red can't really bring things back from the yard, but can bounce things from play. So if I were the opponent, I would have blocked Essence Symbiote and Will Bonder on Gyruda, and I would have took the Honey Mammoth. You don't want to lose both Brushwags as they're growing, or things like that. But you can afford to trade just Will Bonder for Gyruda, which takes me down a card and saves you 6 life. So if I were the opponent last turn, if I were Mobius, I would have blocked Gyruda with Will Bonder and Symbiote, and I would have took the Honey Mammoth. I mean, they definitely don't have lethal. I don't have to block the Bonder. So, like, if I put the Ceratops on Gnar, it's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 14, 17. So all I have to do is play anything. But like, if I don't kill the Mentor, I could play Rescuer, and then they don't have lethal either. Literally, if I play any card, they don't have lethal. So there's no reason to think that if I'm drawing 3 cards, I'm going to have nothing to play. Literally any card, and they don't have lethal. It's not like I had to have removal for Mentor. Yeah, Bonder can force through damage, but I don't have to block Bonder. I can just block other things. Okay, for now, do I want to block? Oh, Bonder makes all the Tramplers have that ability. I see what you're saying. So they had lethal with just the Tramplers because of Bonder? 2, 3, 6, 8, 14, 17. Okay, I see your point. They needed 3 for Mentor and 4 to pump Brushwag. So they had to top deck a land. But no, I see what you're saying. You're saying I had to have removal. Blockers don't matter if they drew the land. Yeah, I forgot it gives that ability to others too. I see what you're saying, chat. That does make the play more reasonable. Okay, so do I want to chump with Ceratops? Probably not. They're not really threatening lethal now. And then if I attack back with all 3... The only thing I'm worried about is if they kill me in 2 turns because of the Will Bonder's ability. So maybe I do block. Soak up 5 damage, then they have to block both my 6/6s, and I've got a bunch more stuff to do now. Plus, I really don't want them to cast a creature this turn, since I have Scatter. Well, if I force them to pump, they can still deal the damage to me, but it's not both. If they choose to deal the 5 to me, the Ceratops lives. So, I mean, if I force them to pump and spend their turn doing that, like, that's strictly better than not. That said... Am I dead next turn? 5, 7, 12, 13. No. And I've got blockers to play for the non-tramplers. So let's attack with the 6/6s and see what they want to do. It started at 2 p.m. Sorry, Dangle. That's what time they started the stream, because there's Europeans and stuff in it. And then for now... I mean, we're definitely not dead on board. The game isn't looking great. So I guess we just play our 2 creatures. Five, 7, 9, plus a pump is 12. So they don't... Even if they drew a land, they'd be 1 short of 15 this turn. It's not to say we're going to win, but they can't... They have to block most of our creatures. So they can't... They have to block, like, both of these, and then they can take 7. So they can only attack us with 2 creatures. And then, of course, we can block them. We can double block. They can assign damage to us, but then we'll still kill their creature. So this is a tight game. But assuming they draw a land, we're fine. Assuming they draw a big creature or something, that's fine. They can't, like, pump 2. They're only a couple points short of killing us, but they have to draw something that, like, increases damage, and they can still pump. Like, if they drew, like, a red and 1, give a creature double strike into on a turn, we might just be dead. But that's a very specific card they would have to draw. Yeah, Monstrous Step, that would lethal us. Again, they certainly have cards that exist that could lethal us at this point. But on board, we're fine, and it's not like if they drew a creature, we're dead or something like that. If they draw a land, okay. If they draw a creature, okay. 7, 12, 14. So that's 1 point... No, 8, 13, 15, so that's lethal. Well, thanks for the slow roll. So Archipelagore, one of those cards that is lethal, right? 8, 10, 15. Looks like they top-decked Archipelagore for the win. Hey, Voxy. That is a pretty Archipelagore. I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah, I mean, we were in good shape. I mean, the Archipelagore there just won the game. I don't see a reason to board in, like, Tigerilla or Tentative Connection or anything. No. I mean, it was a tight board. Every attacker that I had mattered. I don't think I want to hold up Scatter in case they top a good creature. If they draw most creatures, they're playing it instead of pumping. It's not even clear whether it's better for them to pump Brushwag or cast a creature, assuming it's not something like Archipelagore. But an extra 3-1 in play to attack and block and deal damage was super relevant on that tight board. think it would be pretty bad. I don't even think it's really that close. Most creatures don't particularly matter at that point. It's not even clear whether it's better for them to add a 3/3 to the board or pump a Brushwag. And that was a tight game. It's not like we were just crushing them on board. Thank you, DB Burning. Appreciate the subscription. Britain's joining the U.S. as a state. I was hoping that the U.S. could join the European Union as a European Union member state. I would gladly turn over control of the United States to the European Union. Thanks for subscribing, Million. Appreciate it. Alright, still going to play first. Again, no turn 2 Omnises, but we have some Cyclers and a Scatter. I mean, we're definitely not going to mulligan. Nothing worse than mulliganing. I'd rather lose than mulligan, as you know if you've watched my stream. Okay, so we want to have Scatter up. So there's not much reason to cycle now. Mentor is one of the best cards in their deck. I actually maybe should have just attacked with Facet Reader. I mean, it feels like it's better to loot, but we're not necessarily we don't really have anything we're dying to loot away because we want lands for Gerudo. I'm just going to loot away a 2-mana Cycler for now. Snap Scatter that. No real decisions this turn. We have a 4-drop. Pretty much always Menace unless you have Trample Synergy or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a communist, but I do want healthcare. So... let's see. Okay, so 1 mana to loot. This can't really attack or block anyway. Let's see what we get. No real decisions here. Hit for 4 to take 3 back. We're on the play. We're out in front. I mean, I've yet to win this. This is my 3rd time participating in this. I went 2-0 and then lost the finals, the last one of these streamer challenges I participated in. And then the previous one, I went 1-2. So I'm currently 3-3 in matches played, and I lost the finals last time. I mean, my deck here I think is quite good, like I said with Gerudo. We'll just have to see what we hit and how it goes. Okay, so if I attack with Tigrealla and they double block... I could cycle and give First Strike, but this will die to either, so First Strike doesn't help me. It is a good trade for a Cloud Piercer, though, I think. 5-4 reach for a 4-3 Menace. I might hit the 5-5 Haste, in which case I'd want to attack with that also. So I think the right play is to play the Gerudo first and see what we hit. You do look at 4 cards, after all. Okay, Naturalist or Ceratops. We don't really need more mana. Naturalist could let us cast Vantasaur, but I'd just as soon cycle it. So let's grab Ceratops. Now the question is, do I want to trade Tigrealla for Cloud Piercer? Because if I attack, they either take 4, which I'm happy with, I don't need it to block, or they double block. The answer, I think, is yes. It helps clear the way for everything else to attack. So I'll attack with Tigrealla. If they want to double block and trade Cloud Piercer for it, I think I'm happy with that. I don't know what's with the opponent's fancy art here. Did they buy like some kind of fancy art package or something? like the art just fine. I'm not hating on it. I'm just, like, I just don't even know what they have there. You fancy. Thank you, lever number 1. Appreciate the support. Okay, so we can give first strike. I mean, they have 6 mana up, so they probably have something to do. We saw +3/+3 last game. I don't really want to let them eat Gerudo when I'm not even dealing damage or anything. I don't think that makes sense. So I think I'm going to start... I think I'm just going to actually just cast the 6/4. If it gets countered and they tap a bunch of mana, maybe I can attack. I guess they could have Voracious Great Shark or something like that. I'd feel kind of silly if I cast my 6-drop into that right now. Not really sure what to do. Hey, thanks, Elron. Appreciate the subscription. Thanks for the 15 months of support. I mean, last game, the cards we saw that were relevant were +3/+3 and Trample. I do kind of... The thing is, I kind of want to find spells to fuel these Ceratops. I think I'm going to start by... I don't think I want to just cast my 6. It's a useful card in my hand anyway. I think I'm going to try and do my looting and cycling and dig up spells for these Ceratops. And look, there's a good one. So now I can cast this one, which will grow those. And then I can cycle these to look for more spells and to put counters on the Omniseas. And now I can attack with all 3, because if they have +3/+3 or 5/4 or something, they can eat 1 creature, but I still deal them a bunch of damage. If they block Gerudo with Greathorn and +3/+3, they still take 6. So now I'm much happier to attack with all 3 now that I grew the Ceratops. Now they can only eat 1 of my creatures if they have any of the shark cards or the +3/+3 or something like that. And I'll still at least get in a bunch of damage. Okay, so that's going to give them a land. They can bounce something, but it's still at the moment just trading, right? They're not growing. This isn't a symbiote. 3/4 can bounce with this, or 4/3 can trade with it, whichever they prefer. Looks like bounce, which makes sense. But that's not a big deal. They're not even eating any creatures. There's no reason to assume we're going to draw white. We only have a few. I'm going to start now by cycling, see if we find, like, Prophecy to finish off the 3/4, a tap land to put in play, whatever. We do have Reunion, and we have Reader out, and we already have 6 lands, so I'll hold these lands. Okay... So I want to Subdual with the Ceratops out. I don't really want to miss a turn of Facet Readering, though. So I think I'm going to start with that, because I have Omniseas. So I'm making an 8/8 every 4 turns. Okay, that's a pretty nice draw. I think now we can go right to combat. We can use these Subduals, grow the Ceratops, shrink their stuff. I don't think there's any real way for this to work out badly for us with double Subdual. So for right now, 6/6 is beating 3/4. Let's just pass to them. They're going to probably give it +3/+3. Now we'll give it -2/-0. Grow our Ceratops, shrink it. Life is good. I guess it's still going to live, but the +3/+3 is just to end a turn. The bounce isn't bad for us. And now I'm going to play the second Ceratops post-combat, because we didn't need to use the other Subdual. Hey, the real Merrick. Yeah, I'm actually, like, I was considering this week a vacation, but I didn't want to miss the streamer event. So I'm only streaming this event today. It's going to be a short day. I'm playing the 3 rounds. We already did the draft. Even if I lose this round, I'll be playing the next 2. But, you know, considering this week, like, a little vacation. When you're a one-person show, you know, like, I need to take a vacation week, like, once every couple months or whatever. You know, so, but I'm still popping on for this. And then next week I'll be back all week, starting on Tuesday, back with the regularly scheduled program. So thanks to everybody out there, for the support and tuning right back in. Do appreciate it. My county is in phase 1 of reopening as of Monday, which pretty much means everywhere can reopen, but they have, capacity limits. Some places are only allowed 25% capacity, some are 50% capacity. It's actually the old camera, so to speak. The Logitech's just not turning on at the moment, so I'm just using my laptop webcam. I know it's a worse camera. This will not be the camera quality indefinitely or anything. I'm in Broward County, Florida. I know people like to politicize everything, but I don't really have strong opinions on open and close. I think quality of life sucks when we're closed, but getting sick and dying sucks, and it's just a difficult situation. So I leave those decisions to the experts. I do think everybody should take all reasonable safety precautions, though. I think not wearing a mask, not washing your hands, not staying home if you're actually coughing or running a fever, stuff like that is just insane. Whether people need to be able to go to work and businesses need to be able to open so that they can survive and our quality of life and way of life can continue, or whether they need to close as a matter of public safety, that's a tough, complex scenario, and I don't really have that much of an opinion on that. But stuff like not wearing a mask out of defiance, you're just being a petulant child. People I understand need to go to work, want to live their life. I get it. Wear a mask, wash your hands, stay home if you have an actual fever, be a reasonable human being, Okay, so I want to leave scatter up, so I'm going to cast Facet Reader. Sure thing. The streaming schedule is still 3 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We just started today at 2 instead of 3 because there's Europeans and stuff in this, and that was just a better start time for everybody to be able to make. Alright, so if I cast Tigerilla and they counter it, again, we haven't seen that counter yet, but they did keep leaving their mana up. I still wouldn't be shocked if they have Voracious Great Shark, but I know it's a rare, so I'm not really trying to play around it that much. Plus, I do have Gerudo I want to resolve anyway. The thing is, though, I have Scatter up, so I kind of like the idea of just chilling for now. If they play something small, I can Prophecy it. If they play something big, I can Scatter it. It's a pretty bad swing for me if they counter one of my creatures, and then I can't even Scatter one of theirs. Whereas if I draw one more land, if it is Great Shark, I can Scatter it, and life is good. If it's not, okay, whatever. I resolve Tigerilla, and then I have Scatter up for their creatures. I'm only one land away from playing 4 drops and being able to leave up Essence Scatter. And I have 2 scatters in hand now, so that's an easy choice to scatter that. Okay, and there's land 6. So I'm not going to slam Gerudo, but I'll happily play Tigerilla now. I don't necessarily think they have any counters, but I didn't really want to drop shields, because they do have big creatures. So now if they play a small creature, I'll Prophecy it. If they play a big creature, I'll Scatter it. Life's basically good. And there's a big creature, and now the game plays the way we wanted. We scatter their 2 big creatures, we untap and play Gerudo, we do it pre-combat because of Lava Serpent. And there is Lava Serpent. And it's going to be tough to lose from here. Thank you for the donation, Joshy246. Very much appreciate it. Okay, and we don't have that much white anyway, so let's reunion away our 2 lands. We have 2 more white sources and maybe 1 white card left in our deck. Cool. And after they top decked the Archipelago to win a game 1 that we were looking fine in, we took games 2 and 3. Life is good. Let's see who's up next. While I'm at it, I'm going to do a quick arena restart so that good game on tap will work. Well, it doesn't look like on tap is working yet. Anyway, it said before I needed to restart it, but I did that now, so. I would probably take Lutri over Zenith, pick one, pack one, for the same reason I took Gerudo over Zenith. It's not because I think it's necessarily much better, but it's because in order for Zenith to be good, you have to play exactly red-white cycling, you know, Jeskai Mardu cycling, whatever, but you have to play the cycling deck. Lutri and Gerudo and all the companions, they're not gold cards. They're hybrid cards. So Lutri is blue or red. And Lutri is good in any blue deck or any red deck. Just like Gerudo is good in any blue deck or any black deck. So I think that Zenith, Gerudo, and Lutri are of comparable power level. But I think the fact that Lutri and Gerudo are blue or black and blue or red compared to Zenith Flare, which is red and white, I think that makes me take the hybrid cards. I'm taking the companions there, not for the power level difference, but for the fact that they're blue or red instead of red and white. Oh, I'm going to bring up the bracket. Let's see who we're up against now. Looks like the winner of Lola Man and Scotty Nada, but I think they might still be playing. Thank you, Magic Azador. Appreciate that subscription. I'm going to grab a drink. I'll be right back. They're on game one. Lame. Play faster, yeah. Yeah, I mean, for great technical play, I love watching the really fast, really good technical players. Like, Shota has always been one of my favorite players for a very long time. Shota Yasuka. LSV. I mean, just the speed at which they process the board and stuff like that has always really impressed me. Oh, yeah, I can work on the camera situation right now since I don't have anything to do until Scotty and Lola Man finish up. Let me see if I can get the better camera working. That's actually a good idea. I'm not using my crappy laptop camera on purpose. My Logitech just for some reason isn't working. No clue why. Doing the old unplug, replug, and all that fancy technical stuff. Now let's delete and re-add. Hey, just like that. Now it's working. Computers are great. Oop, but I knocked over my water. Sigh. So the camera's working, but I broke my apartment now. Punt has been initiated. Yeah, I'll clean up the broken glass and all that after the stream. Because, like I said, I am only streaming this one draft today. 2 more rounds. I do want more water, though. I am thirsty. There is a bracket for this tournament. Let me see if I can bring it up. It's right here. Here's the bracket. I know my face is blocking part of it, but Legend beat Lady Lavinius. Jamie Topples beat Pretty MTG, so they're playing each other in round 2. I beat Mobius, and I play the winner of Just Lola Man and Scotty Nada, who are apparently still in game 1 because they're slow today. It's carpet. It's not a wood floor, but it's fine. Not worried about the glass or the floor. I just need to clean it now. But I'll go get the broom and sweep it up after the stream's over. I got time. Are they still in game 1? Blub Nada, thank you for subscribing. Cool name. Appreciate the support. Thanks, chat. Yeah, especially because I'm not wearing shoes either. But that's part of why I don't want to clean it now, because I have to go put on shoes and then get like the dustpan and the broom and. It would be pretty bad if I stepped on it, though. And it is just water, so it's not like I'm that worried about it setting into the carpet or anything. I just need to make sure I get up all the glass. I'm only sort of back. I am still on vacation, Gimlix. I will be back on Tuesday with the normal schedule next week. But for right now, I wanted to participate in one of these streamer drafts. They're pretty fun. So I figured I would take a break from cleaning my house and watching TV and all the important things. And fire off this 1-8-person pod. Try and beat the other streamers. I think it's just 1 pod, 3 rounds, like a single elimination, like a standard 8-person type draft. Like, I mean, if we lose, we play round 3 just to see how we do. But you can't really technically win or whatever. It's just like 1 pod, 3-0 wins. By the way, if I missed it, thanks for the 20-bit cheer, Josh. I appreciate it. Um, it varies how much I play off stream and on stream. I play a lot of Magic. Like, they just announced they're having this arena open. I think it's next weekend, not this weekend. But that's going to be best of one standard. So a lot of my off stream play right now is starting to play standard to practice up for that. But most of the time when I don't have like a standard tournament to practice for, then I just draft off stream all day, every day. And even when I do have a standard tournament to practice for, I still do drafts off stream too, because I have to. I just can only take so much standard. I'm the kind of person, like, I'll play like an hour of standard, and then I'm like, okay, I deserve a draft. Thank you, Legionnaire. Appreciate the subscription. It sounds like Akinar and maybe Voxy know more about this tournament that I'm in than I do. But I might be on Sunday then if I advance and can play in it. Yeah, sure, Gimlix, let me permit you. If you blow up the stream, I will not be happy with you. You've got 60 seconds, though. I do like Scotty Nada and Lola Man's strategy. Knowing that I'm old, they figured if they took forever, then there's a chance that, you know, I would just not be able to go this long and would age out. I don't know. Because they are definitely taking their sweet time. I hope they're at least having a great game or something. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the rules are. I mean, I try not to watch, like, obviously, I don't put on anybody else's streams during these. I don't mean sniping during the game. I mean, so I don't find out what's in their deck and stuff like that. Obviously, you can watch whatever. But I don't know if it makes sense for me to flip on their stream or not, because then I would see what's in their deck and stuff like that. Also, it shouldn't be long. I mean, it's one game of Arena, like, and it's limited. I mean, I don't know. They're like I said, hopefully they're having some kind of truly epic match. Hopefully it's enjoyable. Show gimmicks clip? Okay, we could do that.
Can we do it?
A cycling a cycling turn. Let's see what happens. Ultimatum. Yeah, this is gonna be a sick turn.
Believe.
I ended up drafting blue-red spells with Jaruda.
Opponent must just
Thank you.
think like, what the fuck?
Narak05.
And we have another cycle, which basically means another try. Can we do it again? Come on. Believe.
Another ultimatum, nice. And then you draw much more cards. Granted, they don't have more mana, so I don't know how much more they can do this turn, but the 2 ultimatums in 1 turn, yeah, that's not easy to do.
Can we do it?
Yeah, that's a good clip. That's not easy to do. No problem. Sweet turn, Giblets. I don't think I've cast 2 ultimatums in 1 turn, so that's pretty awesome. I don't know if I missed it or not, but thank you, Narek, for subscribing. Appreciate it. I'm writing for CFB Pro right now. I don't know if Channel Fireball is a permanent home as a sponsor for me again yet or not. Like I always said, I was always happy to work for them. I certainly would be willing to if we reach a mutually beneficial agreement. But for right now, I am writing for CFB Pro. So if you want like some limited written content from me, I've written like 4 or 5 articles, about 1 a week for them since Ikoria came out. We've got draft archetype guides for blue-green mutate, blue-red spells, and black-white humans up that I wrote. And then LSV also wrote red-white cycling. And then I wrote top 5 cards that were underperforming for me in the format at common and uncommon. And it ended up being a pretty good article, I think, because it's not like I put up a list of the cards. I went into detail about why they were underperforming. So it's really kind of like a mini analysis of the whole format. It talks about like what types of effects are underperforming and why. Mage Market is not still sponsoring me. Not because there's any beef with Mage Market. I think they closed their doors completely. I'm not behind the scenes. I was only with them for about a year, and I wasn't like I didn't buy into the company or anything. So I mean, it's not like I know that much about behind scenes. But I think as a small business and an upstart, they just couldn't handle the lost revenue from COVID, forcing them to shut their doors. Would be my guess. I don't really know, like I said, but I believe they're completely out of business. Thanks, Equations of Motion and Count Coco Fang. Appreciate the subscriptions. Thank you for supporting my stream. Today we're just doing the 1 Ikoria draft. Like I said, I'm going to play all 3 rounds. Even if I lose next round, I'll be playing round 3. But I'm kind of decided to take vacation this week. For me, a vacation is usually a staycation, although that might change in the future. But normally, as a Magic Pro, with our travel schedule, I'm on the road like every couple weeks, and staying home and relaxing is a vacation to me. Now that it's like almost everything is online, and for the foreseeable future, I actually might travel for a vacation at some point instead of staying home. I wouldn't really want to fly during COVID or anything. I could see myself like driving to the west coast of Florida and like going to like the beach out there or something. But for this week, I decided to just take like a staycation type week. But I popped on for the streamer draft. Thanks for the raid going optimal. How are you doing today? I appreciate the raid, the 51 person raid. Thank you for the support. I don't know. You know, like I said, my whole life, a vacation has felt like staying home and relaxing and not going out because I'm on an airplane every 3 weeks for Magic. But like I said, you know, it's kind of a different world right now. So, you know, I don't really know. We'll have to see what the future holds. I do have a good reason to go to Michigan. My sister's at med school in Detroit. So, Michigan definitely on my radar as a place to go. No, I hope I can join Going Optimal in that Sunday pod and Voxy. How do I qualify for it? Top 2, you said, from this draft? So if I win the next round? Oh, top 4, so I already qualified. I just had to beat Mobius? Well, then I guess you'll see me on Sunday. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Whenever we're playing, I'm happy if I made it. Well, the cycling deck is the best deck. I think it's the best archetype. And it's easily supported out of mostly commons. You know, there's a bunch of different uncommon enablers. But at the end of the day, you know, everyone should know it's the best archetype. It's not a secret. I've talked about this concept. So everybody knows me for stay open drafting, for drafting what's being underdrafted, for reading the drafts, right? So people always say, Ben, when would you force something? What does it take? It's not a deck being really, really, really good that makes you want to force it. It's more you knowing something other people don't. Imagine you discover the cycling deck and for some reason nobody else is drafting it. Okay? Like it's a pre-release draft, it's week one, just nobody knows about it. Now you have access to all of the cards. So you can go enforcing, you might get really screwed and there's just none of the common enablers open in any of the packs, but it's pretty unlikely, right? But let's say, on the other hand, everybody knows cycling is the best deck, which should be the case. Then draft should find its natural balance. Everybody should be looking for snare tacticians and should be taking Zenith Flare over everything, and there should end up being 3 or 4 cycle players in every pod because it's the best deck. So stay open drafting. It doesn't matter how good the best deck is. What really matters is how much people know about the best deck. If you discover something that other people don't know about, that's when it can be correct to force. Because if you're going to have access to it every single time, you can force it. Whereas if it's a known archetype, then other people are going to draft it too. It doesn't matter if, like, oh, you know black is the best color, but other people think it's red. Because at the end of the day, people are still going to draft the blood curdles and dead weights in the black decks, right? So, like, you can't just force black because you think black is the best color. But if there's a hidden archetype, like if you know about cycling and others don't, or you know about spider spawning and others don't, that's when it can be right to force, because you just have access to that every single time. Okay, apparently Scotty won, so hopefully I can queue up Scotty now. Let me go grab that information. Oh, no, it looks like Lola Man said 2-1 versus Scotty, so I think Lola Man won. Well, either way, they're finished. Finally. Slow pokes. Two-one Scotty, I guess, could mean Scotty won or Lola Man won. I don't really know. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate the 10 bits. Okay, well, y'all are saying Scotty won. I trust you. I'm going to grab Scotty's name for now. Try and queue up. So like I said, I'm only doing this draft today, but I will be playing all 3 rounds. Even if I lose this round, I'll play the final round out. I'm not really looking forward to Arena Cube. If it's fun, I'll play it. If it's like a sweet cube, doesn't involve powers, pop, or whatever, we'll see. I'm not opposed. But I'm not really a big cuber. But if it's fun, I'll play it. We'll see what's up. Alright, challenge match. Deck type 40. Best of 3. Gyruda. Well, one of us chose wrong. Let's try that one more time. Challenge match. Deck type 40. Best of 3. Pretty sure it's Scotty, not me. Alright, so we're on to round 2. Let's see if Gyruda can do it again. Looks fine. We have a turn 2 Omnises. You never want 2 Facet Readers, but the nice thing is you can always get rid of one using the other. And then we have a couple 1-mana Cyclers with Omnises. Keep Safe is a good draw to protect the 8/8, which we're going to make pretty quickly, I think. Unfortunately, our opponent's not on a mulligan. They have a companion as well. Ooh, second Omnises. I like that. Let's get ready to make some 8/8s. We use a program to draft like a pod among streamers, and then we just queue up manually against each other. Okay, so I think we want to play the Omnises first. Don't want to miss any counters on that. And then we'll just crank out 8/8s as soon as we can. Hopefully we can win the game with a couple 8/8s. We even have Keep Safe to protect one from removal. Looks like Scotty's got some plans here too, though. It's alright. I'll take 8/8s over kitty cats any day. I have no idea, Hubba. That stuff's all way over my pay grade. I don't concern myself with stuff like that. All right, so we have Facet Reader. We can only play one because we only have one blue. We have Cycler and Keep Safe. There's no way I want to Keep Safe to protect the Facet Reader. That's to protect these 8/8s. So I think I can cycle first in case I draw like a tap land or something. Because I'm going to play Facet Reader here, which means I can't keep up Keep Safe or Mystic Subdual because I didn't have 2 blue. Mystic Subdual does lock down the cat, but I don't mind if they gain 3 and I take 3. I'm making 2 8/8s soon. So I wasn't going to spend the turn Mystic Subdualing when I have Facet Reader with double Omnisy. Remember, Facet Reader's loot is not that strong in this format, but it is draw a card. It's draw a card, discard a card. So now, every turn, I can get 2 counters on each of these Cs instead of 1. And with 2 Cs going, I mean, that's effectively an 8/8 every 2 turns, or 2 8/8s every 4 turns, just by using Facet Reader and Omnises. So I wanted to get Facet Reader out more than I wanted to subdual this Cub Warden. If I had 2 blue, I might have done both, but I found the second blue off of the cycle. I didn't have it. So draw a card. So we're not making 8/8s yet this turn. So it seems like a fine turn to get down Ceratops. And we still have our mana left to loot. End of their turn. And then next turn, so we loot, this goes to 5. We draw, it goes to 6. We loot, it goes to 7. And this one goes to 8. So next turn we can make our first 8/8. And then after that, we make another 8/8 the very next turn. I don't think I want to play Second Reader. It's just excessive. Even though, yeah, it would be incredible with the 8/8s. How many 8/8s do we need? We have 2 Omnises. Like, I've got to imagine if we're making 8/8s and protecting them, and then we still can play Jaruda at some point. We're going to win. So I'm going to loot away the second Facet Reader. I mean, unless we hit a land or something, I might loot that away, but... this is not a bot draft. We did an 8-person pod with all the streamers. Okay, it's a pretty nice card, but I'm not that scared. Definitely not going to loot away the land now, though. These creatures are going to stay tapped. So there's no guarantee I can make an 8/8 next turn. So I'm going to be playing Jaruda, I guess. I guess I could die here. Okay, well, now I'm definitely not going to play Garuda. Now I can make an 8/8 at instant speed and then protect it with keep safe. So the drawing the cycle makes it not a decision. Yeah, this was a really good draw. Just, I mean, any cycler, but yeah. Keep safe makes the second 8/8, but I can't just cast it. They have to do something to target this, the first 8/8. But if they don't do something to target the first 8/8, then it eats Archipelagore, so life could be worse. I don't make the rules. Lola Man, I think, organizes. If you want to participate in this and you're a streamer, shout out, message Lola Man. I guess I don't really know. So if this doesn't get countered or something, we certainly win. Not only does our 8/8 live to block Archipelagore, we now can make our second 8/8 because Keep Safe drew another card. Well, I'm pretty sure all the streamers involved are streaming the draft. I mean, so besides the fact that it would be unethical to ghost and they wouldn't do it for that reason, I'm fairly sure nobody's going to be ghosting it because they're literally streaming it live. 8, 16, 19, 20. Oh, they're at 36. All right, I'm just going to subdual one of these. So we could reunion and get 3 more counters, but we're not really there yet anyway. But they could have Essence Scatter. Do have 2 mana up, so slamming Gyruda is not that appealing. I might, and then I missed the ability to Facet Reader. I think I might just Friendship, get some more blockers that way. And then I can still use Facet Reader here. Definitely not attacking with Facet Reader. Hold back the 1/1 just to have some blockers. 21 seems like a good attack. Okay. Yeah, I thought about playing the Land for the Life game, but I need to be able to Cathartic Reunion. That's why I didn't. If I wasn't holding Cathartic Reunion, I would have played the land. But I'm looting next end of their turn, so this gets to 3 counters. Draw Step is 4. Reunion is 3 counters up to 7, and Reader is 8. So I'm making an 8/8 next turn by casting Reunion. So that's the reason I didn't. Alright, so I guess let's start by reunioning, grow the Ceratop, see what we get if this resolves. Nope, they had a counter, so it's not going to resolve. Now, let's see. We can attack with the big ones again. It seems like almost automatic. I can still loot with the Facet Reader, draw a discard, even if I have to discard whatever I draw. Sending in a 1/1 would only get in like 1 more point of damage. It seems like it makes sense to have it back. Well, they're drawing a lot of cards. That's kind of scary. I don't think I have lethal yet. 14, 16, 17. If I remove the 1/1, I do. So I'm going to mill a card here. Hopefully it won't be a good one, but well worth it to get counters. Okay, so let's see. I can Facet Reader first, and then I can discard whatever I draw, play the land in Gyruda. I haven't hit the Lava Serpent yet, so I might want to Gyruda pre-combat. Hit either a flyer of theirs or like a Lava Serpent with haste or something. But if I draw a card I want to cast more than Gyruda, I can always discard the land and cast the card I draw. So I think I Facet Reader first, unless the one from Facet Reader is exactly lethal or something. So let's say I hit Lava Serpent and I attack with everything including Lava Serpent. They gain a life, so they're at 21. 1/1 on 8/8, and then they would take, and then 1/3 could block a 1/1 safely. And then they would take 8, 9, 15, 5 from the Serpent is 20, and 1 from the Reader is exactly 21. Wow. So if I hit the Serpent, they're forced to chump block with the Caprador if I attack with everything. If I attack with the Reader, they would block the 2 8/8s, but I was figuring out if they had a block where their Caprador wouldn't have to die. If they put a 1/1 on an 8/8 and then Caprador on a 1 power creature, they're at 21 life because of the lifelink. They take 5 from the Serpent that's not in play, 1 from the one of the 2 1/1s that gets through, 1 from the 8/8 that gets through. So that's 9, 14, 20, 21 exactly. So it's literally exactly lethal, or exactly forces them to chump block with Caprador. Because the Reader, if I attack with Reader. If I loot with the Reader, then I can't force them to chump with the Caprador. So I think we play Gyruda first, because we're on a 4-outer to hit Lava Serpent. Alright, we missed, so it was moot anyway. We also didn't hit any flyers, so there's nothing we can do to stop ourselves from dying the Caprador. So now there's nothing we can do to force them to block with Caprador. They're not dead on board either way. So I'll just send these, but I'm going to play the land and mill with the Facet Reader to get closer to 8/8s. So we die if they have like a way to pump their Caprador. That's unfortunate, but there's nothing we can do about it. By counting, I gave myself the ability to hit Lava Serpent to force them to chump block with the Caprador. But now if they have like Divine Arrow for their own Caprador, they win. Or like a big mutate creature. I mean, we still win if they don't have those. They have to have like, and there's not a lot of mutate. Like, Vulpikeet doesn't make this big enough. They have to have, nor does Dream Heron. They have to have like Divine Arrow specifically, or they have to have like a very big mutate creature. So let's see. If they hit a Manserval, a Ceratops, that doesn't change anything. So we're still looking pretty good. Unless they have Divine Arrow, in which case they just win. But does everyone understand what I did there was count? Because they were forced to chump block with the Caprador if I hit the Serpent. If I would have Readered first, they would not be forced to chump block with it. And Gyruda looks at 4 cards, and I only had 17 in my deck. So we had about a 25%er to force them to chump block with Caprador because we didn't loot with the Facet Reader. If they had 1 more point of life, I would have just looted with the Facet Reader first, because I couldn't force a chump block with the Caprador, so maybe the 1 card I saw, Facet Reader, would have been a removal or something. I mean, unless they're slow rolling me, they obviously don't have the Divine Arrow, so we're still looking quite good. Six cards in their deck, 9 in ours. And we're not decking yet anyway, so let's mill a card, get a counter on these Ominous Seas. Okay, now let's think again. What happens if we attack with everything? The 2 8/8s certainly have to be blocked, as does the 6/4. They don't have the lifelinker anymore, right? So they have to block all the 6-power creatures. And they have to let through the 2 1/1s. They have to lose all their creatures. Because I have 5 creatures that have 6 power or more. They're at 6 life, and they don't have lifelink. So I eat all their creatures if I attack with everything. So, seems good. They're not dead, but they have to block the 6/4 first strike, the 6/6, the 8/8, the 8/8, and the 6/7. So all they can really do here is put their Gyruda token on like my Gyruda and then chump block my other 4 creatures. Math is not for blockers. Math is for both players. Math is for magicians. We didn't lose to anything now, I don't think. They were tapped. Weren't they tapped? Also, I had Hampering Snare anyway. But what's up, Dustin? I'm not really sure what +1/+1, what we're talking about. Well, if they had +1/+1, we could make an 8/8 with an Omniseas that we had out. So, and we had Hampering Snare. So, I mean, we certainly weren't dead. It would have been decent, but... And there's not like a ton of reason to put that in their hand anyway. So, I mean, we could actually make 2 8/8s. We could cycle Snare and make 2 8/8s. So we could either snare or we could snare and make 1 8/8 or cycle and make 2. Okay, so they're blue-white, Lutri, Flyers... I don't think there's much we want to sideboard. I mean, I wouldn't mind some, like, the Tiger or something against them, but it's odd, and it's not worth giving up Gerudo. We could bring in this Terron to have a big flyer. We might want that. Just as something big in the air versus them. I'd have to cut, like, Tigerilla for it. That seems fine. Thank you, Ricky Suizo. Appreciate the subscription. Yeah, Fight as One would have been okay for them there, for sure. We weren't dead to it, but they could have potentially lived and then on-tapped and had other stuff and won. That's what Dustin was mentioning. The +1/+1, I think he was talking about Fight as One. I submitted 41 cards on accident. Well, I can't go back now, unfortunately. I tried to take out Tigerilla. I don't know why I failed at it. I mean, I know my companion requirement is just evens. I brought in a 6-mana card that's an even. I tried to board out Tigerilla, so it should have still been 40. But I might have messed it up. The break has been nice this week. I mean, I like streaming. I miss streaming when I'm not streaming. But also just working week in and week out all the time. Like, you know, everybody takes vacation once in a while, takes a break once in a while. But I always miss y'all. Scotty deep in the tank. Maybe that's why round 1 took them forever. Well, we're not going to mull this. We got the turn 2 Cs. Y'all are right. We did play 41 on accident. I apologize. Baby boomers also don't like avocado, so what do they know? Alright, let's see. We can cycle 1 card or scatter. These are 2-mana cyclers. No reason to do it now then, because if they play a good creature, we'll scatter it. If not, we'll cycle end of turn. It wasn't on purpose. I didn't mean to go to 41. Just an accident. Okay, so I can't scatter that, but what it does mean I'm going to do is Mystic Subdual this 1/4, because normally I wouldn't have Mystic Subdualed this, but I don't want to let them start drawing 2 cards a turn. So since they played Reconnaissance Mission to draw extra cards with the Serval, I'll just shut off the Serval's power so that they don't draw extra cards. So now with 4 mana, we have to choose between Ceratops or Scatter and Cycle. I do want to get the Ceratops out before playing spells, potentially. I don't necessarily want to let them resolve creatures, but this has Flash, so they may not play it on their turn anyway. I'm not sure what to do. I'm kind of worried if they play Archipelagore here, and tap the Ceratops, hit me, and draw a card. I think I'm going to be conservative and just start cycling and sit on my scatter. I have a second scatter in the deck. I really want to cycle this card right now. Reconnaissance Mission doesn't look especially good either. I can double cycle if they don't give me something to scatter. And if they do give me something to scatter, then I can scatter it. So let's cycle. Certainly that's good enough to scatter. So then we'll scatter it. Mutate doesn't work over Subdual. Oh, I didn't know that. So they wouldn't get to tap my creature. But they would still get a giant creature that would hit me and draw a card. So, okay, so we're not triggering this yet. We didn't draw another scatter. Now let's play a Ceratops. This is game 2, round 2. We beat Mobius round 1. We're up a game against Scotty Nada here. So they can copy something with Lutri, but that doesn't matter much. Even if we cycle and play Prophecy, we're still not making an 8/8 yet this turn. So I think we just get our other Ceratops out now. I'm going to play the land so that next turn, if we draw a land, we can play Prophecy and Mission potentially. Grow these to 4 power where they can attack through Serval. So we'll see what we draw. Okay, we did draw the land. I don't particularly want to Prophecy this 1/4 just to get a counter, but it might be worth it. I think either way, I want to play Mission here. That'll grow both these, then I can attack with them. And then we'll see what the opponent has. If they go for like a Divine Arrow, I can respond with Prophecy. If they just block and take the other 3, I mean, I could Prophecy here, and they would take more damage, and I would draw 2 cards instead of 1 because of Trample. But if they have like Divine Arrow or some kind of trick, they kind of blow me out. If I draw 1 card off Mission, that gets a counter on Seas, so that's decent. And then I can always Prophecy like later in the turn or end of their turn, in which case I get the 8th counter. So for now, I don't think I want to kill Manserval. I'm just going to pass to the opponent. If they play Lutri to theoretically hit me and draw a card with their Mission, I have Prophecy to stop Lutri. If they play a creature here, I can Prophecy it. If not, I can wait a turn on my 8/8. I thought there was a decent chance Scotty would go into turn Lutri there, because then they could on-tap attack, hit me for 3 and draw a card, since I don't have any blockers on-tapped. In which case I would Prophecy the Lutri to stop them from drawing a card. Bottom one of these, probably the Tigerilla, get the 8th counter. They didn't do that, so not great, but not a huge deal. This is why they didn't do that, because they were going to copy Swallowhole. But actually, they have to tap a creature, right? Even on the copy. So I think if I Prophecy the Lutri in response, they won't be able to cast the copy. I might be wrong. But I'm willing to do it either way, because I'm getting the 8th counter, so I'm happy to Prophecy the 3/2. And then we'll see if they can make another copy of Swallowhole. I'm not actually sure. I think they can't. I think they have to tap another creature, but I might be wrong. Looks like I'm wrong, as usual. But the reason I didn't ask first is because I wanted to Prophecy anyway, because that got me the 8th counter, so I can make an 8/8 here. That's why I didn't ask, because I was going to do it either way in this spot. Happy enough in the late game to not save Prophecy if it means getting an 8/8 a turn sooner. Alright, and they're down to 1 card. Let's just slam Gerudo. So we can take Cub Warden or Vantasaur. Cub Warden looks better. I think I'd rather have the Lifelinker. Looks like we're on to the finals. Maybe I should have played a pre-combat because of Lava Serpent that time, but it wasn't a particularly important time for it. They had a chump blocker out and stuff. We were also just cruising at that point, so I stopped. You know, I always say this. I play my best in close games where I'm a little behind, and my worst when I'm winning by miles. I mean, I didn't really think anything we did mattered at that point anymore. Like, the game was pretty much over. It's hard to really try and optimize the close plays when one way you're 99.5% to win and one way you're 99% to win. Let's see who we have in the finals. I think Legend won, so I think we'll beat Jamie. So I think we get Legend now in the finals. Gyrudo was pick one, pack one. It shouldn't still be 41. Is it? It should be back to 40. I sideboarded into 41 last game. Why would it stay that way? Yeah, it's 40 again. I boarded into 41 on accident. That wasn't strategic. I just brought in the flyer because we were playing against blue-white flyers. They had good ground defenses and they had some small flyers. So I brought in the flyer and brought out like a Tigerilla. But I left the Tigerilla in on accident. But now we're... Oops. Now we're back to 40. In fact, it probably wouldn't even let me submit 41. Deck type is 40. Yeah, maybe it would. Oh, yeah, it's probably a minimum of 40. It probably would. But nonetheless, I think we're back to 40. Challenge match. 40 card, best of 3. I mean, we really are 41 because Gyruda. Companions are so disgusting. They really are just gross. Alright, so let's play the finals of this pod here against the Legend. Another fine opener. I mean, it's not, like, great because we don't have one of our 2 Omniseas. And Omniseas does nothing if you draw it late in the game and it's like a broken card on turn 2. But of course, we have Prophecy for a small creature, Scatter for a big one, and then we have our Gyruda and some lands, so I would never even think about mulliganing. Well, it was a nice 2-drop to get started. Maybe we can still dig up Omniseas next turn. 2 more cards to find it. So we want to loot now in case we draw Omniseas. So we want to tap whichever kind of land we want to play the second copy of. I think it doesn't matter much, but we'd rather get the second blue in play. So I'm going to tap like that. Alright, no help. Hampering Snare looks like our worst card. There's a good chance I'll just cycle this Lava Serpent, but I might not. And if they do give me something to scatter and I don't get to cycle, if I draw another land, I'm only a land or 2 away from the 6 drops. And that's definitely worth killing, but I don't think we scatter it since we have Prophecy. It's just Prophecy, get rid of Smasher, I think, keep the 5/5 haste. We're trying to work our way to 6 lands for Gyruda. So I would have just slapped down Ceratops. Now I'm not sure what to do. Omniseas can grow Ceratops. Seems better to just get the Seas going. With a Facet Reader out, we don't necessarily have to wait that long. And then I can loot away the Ceratops or scatter something good. I would have just tapped 4 and cast Ceratops and attacked for 1. But even though it's turn 4, not turn 2, with a Facet Reader out, Omniseas is still a pretty good card right now. Well, I can't scatter that, but it's not the world's best Planeswalker. Can always attack it, or they can kill my Facet Reader. And then it has like 2 loyalty. Might as well get the loot out of this. I can always cycle later. Don't know what to discard. I definitely want the 5/5 haste as a way to take out Narset now. Really just want to get up to lands for Gerudo, but Ceratops is also my play for next turn. I could discard Scatter, because I'm just going to start tapping my mana. Let's do that. Now I can go land Ceratops, and then hopefully land Serpent or land Gerudo. And I don't really want to leave Scatter up, because I want to spend my mana for the next couple turns. Even though Scatter's potentially a good card, we don't know if they have creatures for us to scatter or not. They're clearly the cycling deck. And we want to tap out for the rest of the game anyway, or at least for the foreseeable future. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All opponents are worthy. Game 1 against Scotty was really close and good. The whole match against Mobius was pretty good. Finally a legend, you might say. So I think 5/5 haste actually looks better than Gerudo here. We can take out the Narset or force a chump block. Haste is pretty strong right now. Hopefully they don't have a 5-caster in their hand. They probably do if they -2'd, but I was hoping they wouldn't. Thank you, 711TT. Appreciate the support. We did beat Scotty. We're in the finals against Legend. This game's not going that well. I mean, we could win. We have Gerudo if they don't have a counter. We have Omnis Seas going. They have Narset going. Killed a couple of our creatures already. Oh yeah, I would have loved this Narset. But hopefully they don't have Scatter. Gerudo hopefully will hit. We'll see. Still got a little fire left in our tank here. So we hit Tigerilla or Thundermane. Well, I've got a cycling card in hand. Thundermane looks better than Tigerilla to me. I kind of want to cycle this rather than cast it. It gets me to an 8/8. I have a few other cyclers in my deck. We are a cycling deck now. Yeah, Legend probably has the Zenith Flare, but it's not lethal. It's just going to kill one of my creatures and gain them a bunch of life. It's not going to straight 20 me. Hopefully they don't have more than one. 1, 2, 3... 4, 5, 6 at the moment. And I mean, we're going to make 8/8s. This gets a 5th counter from our draw step, a 6th if we cycle the Rescuer. It's pretty interesting. Okay. So we can get up to 7 counters with Cycle, but not 8. I think I want to play the Rescuer now that I drew the Omniseas and just cycle this Omniseas. I'll get a 1/1 to go wide. And I'm not really worried about triggering a second Omniseas light years away from now. But I do have more cyclers in my deck. I have a cycling sub-theme. So I'm going to cycle now. See what we get. Probably play Facet Reader, but maybe not. And I actually would rather lock up a 1/1, I think. So I think I'm going to pass the turn now. Since I drew another cycler, I can just cycle on the opponent's turn here and make an extra 1/1 for free. Not only is this not round 1, it's the final round. It's round 3. See what the legend has this turn. I do want to make sure that Legend stays ahead of me. This game could definitely come down to decking. It's not impossible. I'm at 18 cards. They're at 16 cards. Yeah, but I got a 1/1 and drew a card and got one card closer to Omnises, so I think it's better to cycle than to cast. Because we get a new card, too. And then we can cycle the lands for into the Facet Reader if we want. We go down a card if we cast it. By cycling it, we don't go down a card. So we're at 17. They're at 14. We still have our keep safe, albeit not in hand at the moment. But I don't think we've milled it or anything. That would be a good draw. If we force them to Zenith Flare the 8/8, though, that's decent. They can obviously just start cycling to tap the 8/8, but unless they have 20 cyclers, I don't think they're getting in a point of damage via an attack right now. 1, 2... Hopefully they don't have 2 Zenith Flares. We know that Legend has 1 because we passed it to them. We don't know if they open 1 as well or not. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they'll probably be able to Zenith Flare for 10, but almost certainly not 20. But I'm going to make the 8/8. If they have Flare and we force them to use it on the 8/8, that's decent. We can make another 8/8 in 4 turns anyway. There's not much else at instant speed. They could Capture Sphere it. Which I did pass a Capture Sphere in pack 1, so Legend may have a Capture Sphere here as well. There's the Flare. So again, we want to be thinking about decking. 16 to 13. So we can still afford to loot now. That's a pretty good draw. I think I want to shut off the Snare Tactician a turn early, and I'm not looking to do like a ton of looting because of decking anyway. It's really important to me right now that Legend decks before I do if possible, because with 12 cards left in the cycling deck, they may have a lot of trouble closing. We already forced them to play their Flare there to kill an 8/8. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Ceratops. End of turn, if we subdue the Tactician, we grow the Ceratops, and now they can't cycle and tap it or tap 8/8s. 14 in our deck, 12 in theirs. So I'm probably not going to cast Reunion. But I'll happily loot again since they're still decking first. $13 to 12, so we can draw one more card unless Legend does any cycling themselves or card draw themselves. But we're going to make sure they're decking first. All right, 6/4 first strike, definitely good enough to scatter. So if we draw a land, we can still loot it away. 12, we can go to 11. They're at 11 and they go to 10. So let's do our last potential loot. I can't cycle this, or I'm now decking first. I see no reason to development to kill an 0/3 with no abilities. We'll just hold it for now. So now they haven't cycled again, so I can't draw another card. We're both at 10, so right now they're decking first, but if I draw a single card, I'm decking first. With them at 25 and having forced them to use a Flare already, we don't know what's in their deck. I might kill them, I might kill Legend, Legend might kill me. But decking is very real. There's no need to turn it into a 4/4 to eat an 0/3 blocker. That's just not worth it. Remember, these are counters. So if they play like a 6/6, I can startling development the Ceratops, and then it'll trade with their 6/6 or something like that. For now, I'll take the damage, but all that we're going to do is mostly plan to deck them. Even if they have a second flare, it's not 20. It's going to be like 12 or something. So, I mean, they have to, like, have something that mills us, or they have to, like, have more big creatures and be able to win through mine. I don't know. It's not easy. And, I mean, we're going to make another 8/8. So let's see. 3/2 double strike. It can trade with one of our real creatures. I don't want to take any hits, though, so I'm just going to hold back the small ones for now. We're not threatening lethal anyway. This doesn't have trample. So if it attacks, I have chump blockers, or I can block and then startling development to trade with it. Like I said, I think we should primarily be trying to deck them. We're also going to try and kill them, of course. But, like, the cycling decks tend to be pretty thin. There's only 1 land in the yard and 9 in play, so that's 10. So of the 10 unknown cards, they probably have 3 or 4 lands left. But when I say thin, a lot of those other cards may just be cyclers. With us at 20, they may have, like, a removal, a flare, a creature, and that's it left to beat us with in their whole deck. So I'm definitely looking to prioritize them decking first. Now, if they cycle, we can cycle, or a Facet Reader. But if not, decking them is very important to me right now. My guess is Legend is thinking about this also, and has to cycle now because we're threatening 11. So, no decisions now. We're going to attack with everything. That's threatening lethal, forcing them to use their other flare or removal or whatever. Again, they had another removal. Cool, they're still decking first. 7 in our deck, 7 in theirs, and they're drawing first. So as long as they don't have a way to mill me or something. The Ceratops, I didn't really want to run into things. I mean, I could have development there. Maybe it was worth it. But I'm still threatening lethal next turn. They might have had a trick in their hand. Who knows? Okay, that's actually not super scary. I've got plenty of blockers. If I subdue it, it loses all abilities. So it should go to 0 power. So let's do that so we can keep attacking. Yep. Yeah, they might have Channel Force and deck me. It's possible. I mean, I am going to try and deal lethal before that. But at the same time, priority 1, there's no reason to put that card in their deck. Maybe they have it, maybe they don't, right? It doesn't look like they have Channel Force because they keep playing extra lands. I'm pretty prepared to go for lethal now, though. If they have removal, they use it on one of my 1/1s. Who cares? So now I am going to try and lethal them. Okay. So we're up against the cycling deck. We know they have 1 flare. They probably don't have a second, but it's possible. What did we see? We saw a bunch of removal. We saw pacifism and capture sphere. We definitely want keep safe in. We saw a Thundermane, so we don't particularly want like random 2/2s. They do have Narset, so I kind of do want to hit the board. Day Squad Marshal actually looks okay. Terran is pretty good in these matchups. They don't always have creatures out, so hexproof can be a big deal. Tigerilla doesn't match up particularly well, I don't think. I think I would rather just have that hexproofer. Day Squad Marshal looks okay in this matchup. It's good against removal, which they have a lot of. But we do only have 3 white sources. Do we have anything that's actually bad? Not horrible. I mean, we could take out, like, Hampering Snare basically is just a cycler in this matchup. I do want to be able to go on the board versus Narset and stuff a little more. I think Day Squad Marshal's pretty good against that much removal. Just going to cut 1 Hampering Snare for 1 Day Squad Marshal. Yeah, just... They have Pacifism, Rock Slide, Capture Sphere, and Narset. The Daybreak Marshal matches up pretty well against all of that. Like, if they use removal on it, we still net a 1-1. If they Narset it, we still have the 1-1, and Narset doesn't have that much loyalty. It's just... I think that the Marshal's actually just pretty good against Legends deck. If I had more white cards I could bring in, I would. The problem is all those white cards on my board are, like, odds. Remember, I have Gyruda. So if I want to maintain Gyruda in the companion slot, I don't actually have very many white cards to bring in. I might bring in the other Marshal. I probably should have brought in both, but... And then I could bring in, like, 1 more Plains or something. But I really don't have very many white cards I could bring in. The Tiger's odd, the Spontaneous Flight is odd, Manserval sucks in this matchup. I don't have a lot of white to bring in. It's just the other Marshal. Okay, let's see... I guess first, let's loot for 1 mana, see if we get Ominous Seas or something, or a 2-drop we want to cast. We do want to make our land drops up to Gyruda, so I don't think we're getting rid of a land here. I think we get rid of one of the 6s. I'm guessing we're not going to be cycling for 3 mana and giving anything first strike right anytime soon. So if I double block... Oh, well, there goes my team. Ugly. So now there's not much reason to play Mission. So let's start by cycling that, see what we get. Maybe we get Prophecy or Scatter or Omnis Seas or something. No Such Love. So I don't want to take next turn off, so I'm going to cycle one of my 6s. The question is which. Because I already have Gyruda for 6 and the other 6. Guess haste shouldn't matter that much this game, so maybe I spend 2 and cycle the Serpent, see what we get. This way, next turn I can even pull up a 4-mana card by cycling Vantasaur if I don't find anything in the 2 cards. Remember, all my cards are even, so I've got 2s, 4s, and 6s. So I can start by cycling the Serpent, and then if I draw anything to play... I can hold on to the Vantasaur. If I brick, I can play the Vantasaur. I mean, I can cycle the Vantasaur for 1 mana. Okay, so that's respectable enough. We just cast that. Game definitely not looking good, but it really comes down to Legend's hand. Hopefully they're a little flooded or something. Yeah, I did draw, like, all my 6s. I boarded in the Terron, so I have that left. But Legend also has stuff to hit. Like, I could hit that Save Thundermane, and then I could cycle this Vantasaur and shoot the Wolverine for 2. That sounds nice if that actually lines up. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the only one who can channel the Inner Death Sea. Maybe Legend's a landlord also. So let's see. Do we chump? I hate to chump with a 3-3. I feel like Legend doesn't have too many cyclers in hand, though, or they would probably just cycle, tap, and hit me for 8. So Legend could easily be holding Zenith Flare here, and I'm guessing isn't holding that many cyclers, so I think I am going to chump. I don't want to die to Flare. They're already on, like, 3 cyclers in their yard. I don't really want to go to take 6 and go to 5. And I'm guessing he's not holding cyclers. Otherwise, he would just cycle, tap the 3/3, and get an 8 damage. And now we have Gyruda, so hopefully we'll hit 2 nice creatures here, Gyruda and something. Well, that sucks. Second Mythos? Wow. That's the second one of that rare. Okay, so small creatures pretty much have to come out. That's the second copy of that rare. So I'm going to take out these Facet Readers. Maybe anticipate. We're not under that much pressure, and we can pull up Keep Safe to counter the Mythos. And then I'm going to bring in the Marshal. At least it basically eats up a whole Mythos. And Riel. Yeah, Legends deck's incredible. Zenith Flare, Riel, double Mythos, plus some other Cyclers and Enablers. Pretty incredible deck. We saw the double Wolverine. Nothing really matches up that well or poorly against that. More white mana, yeah. Not a lot, but a little. You're right. Let's cut one mountain for 1 more Plains. Since we brought in 1 more Marshal. Oh, I don't have it in my sideboard because this is like a constructed deck. Good beats. I should have put another Plains in my sideboard. Why am I on 39? Oh, I just cut a land, which I don't want to do. Okay. Anticipate helps, and we have Cyclers. Hopefully we won't get plane screwed. I would swap 1 mountain for 1 Plains if it was an option, but I forgot to put it in my sideboard. Yeah, you know, I probably should have cut Friendship. You're probably right. It's still good with Reconnaissance Mission in some spots, but I probably should have cut Forbidden Friendship. Okay, I'm going to play first. We're still a Gyruda Omnis Seas deck. And remember, the missions, the double Mythos is incredible, but they don't kill Omnis Seas 8/8s that well. Like, this matchup is not that bad for us. Last game, we drew all small creatures, and he drew double Mythos. But we're not a small creature deck. We're a deck that revolves around 6 drops, Gyruda, 2 Omnis Seas, and card drawing. So it's not like it's not like it has to line up that way. It's not like, oh wow, he has double Mythos and our whole deck are small beatdown creatures. That's not what our deck does. It just happened to go that way last game. So normally I would cycle development, but I'm not going to do it until after the Seas is out. Even if it costs us to miss a land drop, I think it's worth it because we get a counter. That's an 8/8 a turn earlier. So first and foremost, let's get these Seas going. If we draw 1 land, that would be huge. Like, if we draw an untapped land this turn, that's a really big deal. Because then we can go Omnis Seas, cycle immediately, and then we'll probably find more lands. So I hope we hit a land this turn. Sweet. Unfortunately, we're letting a Wolverine resolve because we're dropping shields or a Tactician resolve. But it's worth it to get the Seas going as soon as possible. I mean, our hand has a Cycler. This doesn't put counters on Seas, but we can probably find more cycling or card drawing. And then this also cycles. So hopefully this will go smoothly from here. Okay, we know we can play this next turn. I think what I want to do now is anticipate main phase. We still have the mountain, and then we can have scatter up. Well, no help there. We have 2 red. We already have a white, so none of this really matters. I guess I don't think we need double white. It's alright. We have scatter for a real threat. Tactician's only hitting for 2. And then we have our 8/8s coming out sooner rather than later. We can already draw 1 more card and see what we get next. And then we can spend 6 mana and play Gerudo on turn 6. Like, we have plenty of game. I don't know if we're going to win or lose. Legends deck's really good. Probably better than mine. But with double Omnises and Gerudo, I'm not hating life or anything. If we drew Cathartic Reunion, that would be some fireworks. We'd get, like, what, both 8/8s, like, next turn or the turn after? Well, that's as bad as possible since we can't scatter it, but it's also not that big of a deal as far as the card goes. He probably doesn't have any 8 casting cost cards to hit these 8/8s. So we're definitely going to cycle Reconnaissance Mission. Nobody, including me, is that greedy. We don't need to draw a card off 8/8s. We just need our 8/8s sooner. Keep Safe would be a really good draw. Cathartic Reunion would be a really good draw. Forbidden Friendship, though, not a really good draw. It's not horrible. It gives us the ability to poke at this Narset. I'm definitely willing to cycle Vantasaur to get counters. Probably going to. But I want to get the tap land in play so I can slam Gerudo next turn. And I do want to poke at this Narset. So I think for right now, I'm going to Forbidden Friendship. And then, end of the turn, I can cycle if they don't give me something to scatter. I can scatter if they do. I can't do both, but I don't really need to cycle this turn as opposed to next turn. It's not like I'm making an 8/8 yet anyway. Thank you, Thrusting Dagger. Appreciate that subscription. I really do want to find Cathartic Reunion or Keep Safe, if I can. Legend has some instant ways to kill the 8/8s. Like, he can tap it with Snare Tactician if that's out, and then pacify it, Rock Slide it at sorcery speed. Also, he has Capture Sphere and Zenith Flare at instant speed. So, ideally, we draw a Mystic Subdual and get rid of the Tactician before we make an 8/8. We have 2 Subduals, 1 Fire Prophecy to get rid of the Snare Tactician, effectively. We also have Keep Safe and Reunion as just great general draws. Okay, end of turn, let's cycle the Venusaur. Like I said, I don't need a 3/6. I want to try and dig up any of that stuff that I just named. Plus, we get our 8/8s a turn sooner. So I really need to find an answer to the Tactician, which doesn't seem to be happening. So far, we're Deathseeing pretty hard here. Deathseeing is the official way to describe flooding now. So 6/8. Do we cast Gerudo? I guess we do cast Gerudo. No, because I don't want that. I don't want Legend to resolve anything is the thing. But also this ultimate is kind of scary, so I kind of have to do things. I'm not that scared of it getting countered. I'm more scared of Legend resolving Riel or something like that. Like, I don't think he has counters, and even if he does, that's not the super scary part. It's him resolving Riel or something like that that really scares me the most. The thing is, I can't rely on an 8/8 hitting Narset because of Tactician, so I think I have to go for it. If I had, like, a Subdual or a Fire Prophecy, I wouldn't make this play. But I don't think I really have a choice. I've got to try and swarm Narset. We milled our Prophecy. Another Marshal. So we still have our Reunion, our Keep Safe, 2 Mystic Subduals as draws that come to mind right away that I would like, in addition to a bunch of 6-drops. Lava Serpent would be decent. Terron would be pretty good since it has Hexproof. Wow, not using the 4 mana in a turn is a good sign for us. I mean, obviously he's got cards in hand, probably like Rock Slide, Pacifism, the other Mythos, Zenith Flare, some of that, Riel. But the fact that he wasn't able to spend his 4 mana in a turn is a good sign. Even if it's the other Mythos, they can like tag Gerudo and then 3 to the Marshal and 1 to a 1/1 or something. But it's not the end of the world. And if this ultimate goes off, it's not good, but we're still at 19. It's not like if they cast a couple of spells and shoot a couple of times, the game's over. The thing I'm most afraid of here was Legend resolving Riel, but it doesn't look like he's holding her, so that's good. Okay, so if we go to combat and Legend cycles and taps the 2 big ones, do I attack with these 3 to get a counter off Narset, or do I let Narset ultimate it? I'm going to make an 8-8. I could make 2 8-8s even. I think I'm just going to let Narset ultimate. And then end of turn, cycle the Smasher, make 2 8-8s. See if we can pull up Subdual or Keep Safe or what have you. Can't have that many spells to cast. I mean, deal 2, gain 2 is annoying, but it's not really killing my big stuff. I could die to Zenith Flare, but I'm still a ways from that. There's currently 2 cyclers in the yard. And I don't think his deck is that cycle heavy. Okay, well, he's not giving me the option anyway, tapping the 2. So that takes away the potential decision. Oops, I certainly don't want to attack with my 1/1/1. That's not going to work. I'm not casting Smasher, because by cycling it, I get an 8-8 end of his turn, this turn, since I have a Seize with 7. And I get the 2 counters, because, I mean, I might have to make 2 more 8-8s. Remember, I have a pretty good amount of cyclers. I have Cathartic Reunion and Keep Safe in there. So I'm really hoping to trigger both these Cs twice this game. I mean, hopefully he'll die before the second trigger. But that's not likely. Legend has Rock Slide, Capture Sphere, Pacifism, the Tacticians. So I'm expecting this game to drag on. And I think there's a good chance I may need to make 2 8-8s twice. Smasher's a fine answer to Wolverine, but I already have Scatter, so this isn't a game where I'm worried about Wolverines. I'm worried. This game, Legend's the control deck. He's going to have to win by killing my 8-8s and tapping things, and then killing me with Zenith Flare plus this Narset Ultimate. The 8-8 doesn't need First Strike. I mean, we'll see how it goes. But I want to, if he attacks, I'm going to make 1 8-8, and then he has to tap it, or I can just block with it. I'm not going to just make a second. If he taps it, then I'm going to cycle and make the second. Otherwise, I'm going to do them end of turn. Then, of course, I'll make an 8-8. Then I'll cycle and give First Strike. Then I'll make a second 8-8, because there's no reason not to. But I don't necessarily think I even want to give the 8-8 First Strike. I'd probably rather give First Strike to, like, a 3-3 or a 6-6 or something. So he did what I said, killed 2 1/1s, or a 1/1, the 3-3, and tagged the 6-6, I think. Maybe he didn't. No, he just tagged them all, yeah. Because of the +2. So he killed the 3. He tagged them all, and he used the extra 2 damage from Narset to kill the 3-3. Why would First Strike counter on 3-3 matter? I could have cycled in response to try and find Keep Safe exactly, I guess, but I don't think it really mattered. I'm going to cycle again for sure. I don't need 1/1s. They die to the Narset trigger. I just need to get to my 8-8s as soon as possible. Oh, the First Strike counters, whatever. I mean, I'm not saying it was wrong to not get it somewhere meaningful, but I don't think it was super relevant. Cathartic Reunion, on the other hand, that's an excellent draw. Now we get 3 counters on both of these, and we dig up some more business getting rid of some lands. Let's see what we find. Keep Safe probably are one of our best draws. Other than that, Cyclers are good. We could cast a 5/5 haste, but we could also just cast a 3/6 hexproof. I think it's better to cycle this and get a turn sooner to these next 2 8-8s. Thanks for the donation, Ethan B. Appreciate the bits. Now we don't really need to hold lands. Yeah, it's looking pretty solid. Now what we'll do is subdual the Tactician end of turn, so then cycling when we tap 1. Then we can have a nice attack, add a 3/6 hexproof, still have scatter up, and start making 8/8s. Oh, because I didn't want to take 4 damage, because I could die to Zenith Flare plus Narset's ultimate pretty easily. So I'm not really looking to trade blows here. And I don't want to just start off by subdueling if Legend starts off by attacking, because I want to have scatter up if I can for Wolverines or Riel mostly. The cycler count is at 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's not that high. It's only at 4. But it automatically does 6 because of Narset. Oh, Jaruda couldn't even attack as a Mythos. I didn't even realize that. I didn't even want to attack with it. Because I'm going to be attacking for so much every turn. And I still have another Subdual in the deck also. So what I'm looking to do here, like I said a few turns ago, Legend is the control deck now, looking to beat me with the 2 damage here and there and the Zenith Flare. And I'm looking to beat him with all these 8/8 threats and big threats. So I don't want to take small amounts of damage and end up getting Xaxes out by Narset's ultimate and Zenith Flare. I just want to build my 8/8 army, 3/6 hexproof, scatter any good creatures. I'm looking to keep my life total up as much as possible and stay out of Zenith Flare plus Narset ultimate range as much as possible. Oh, I got a raid? Oh, a Numot raid. Hey, thanks for the raid, Numot. How you doing? So even though I'm not ecstatic about Wolverine resolving, it's fine. We can play a 3/6 hexproof, which can't be tapped. So I'm not really that worried about the accidental death now. We get to have scatter up, play a 3/6 hexproof to block with, and we can make an 8/8. Definitely hexproof. Wolverines are real. I don't know if they matter or not. Like I said, I'm mostly just trying to stay out of, like, accidental death range. Zenith Flare does +2 because of Narset. And then 4, so 6. And then another removal spell makes 8. There's a good chance I think Legend's holding Zenith Flare, because there were turns in this game where he basically couldn't have a Cycler in hand. Okay, I'm going to scatter that. There's like one more creature or 2 left in his whole deck. Who knows if he has it or not. I think there's a good chance he's holding Zenith Flare. I don't think there's a good chance he's holding a Cycler. But either way, we have a blocker, we have an 8/8. Let's go to combat. Okay, so it was a Moloch. That makes sense. Because it's not some little cycler. It would have been worth holding. I think we want the 3/6 back to potentially block Wolverine. Like I said, I really just don't want to take damage. Oh, no, but if we attack with all of them, we force 2 blocks instead of just 1. So that, if nothing else, that forces Wolverine to trade with a 3/6, or the Tactician to die, because he's at exactly 11. If Legend was at exactly 12, I would not send the Terron here, but at exactly 11, sending the Terron forces him to block with 2 creatures, which means he can't have Wolverine and Tactician left, which means he can't force in a hit with Wolverine, which is the main thing we're trying to avoid, because we can make an 8/8 during combat, so if Legend could have a Tactician and Wolverine left, he could use sorcery speed removal on my Ceratops, attack, when I make an 8/8, cycle, and tap it. But now, he can't really do that because he has to block with either Tactician or Wolverine here. Chump with the O3, but then take 11 and die. So Legend's forced to lose either Tactician or Wolverine here. If Legend was at literally 12 instead of 11, I don't send this 3/6 hexproof. I only send the 8/8. The beauty of forcing that Tactician to chump block. No cycle tap on the Ceratops. In order to keep the Tactician, he would have had to lose the Wolverine, in which case, can't hit me for very much anyway. I don't know which play was right, but like I said, the key there was that he was at 11, so we forced a second block by sending the Terran. If everything was the same and Legend was literally at 12 instead of 11, I don't attack with the Terran. I don't think it's BM. I think he's dead. I mean, I would concede, but it's cool if he wants to meet an all-out attack and then be dead. I don't think it's like a trick or something. Oh, I said hello. I meant to say good game back. Sorry, I meant to say good game back, not hello. I just misclicked. I apologize. Somebody let Legend Stream know I meant to say good game back, not hello there. Well, we got the W, so we won this pod. That was sweet. Third time in the streamer draft. We lost in the finals of the last one. Went 1-2 in the first one. We got the 3-0 and won the pod this week. So that's pretty sweet. I'm going to get back to enjoying the week off, but I will be back Tuesday next week with the regularly scheduled program.